All right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host of most, Will, aka Black Spartan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on your screen is flipped. And I just read what is under his thing. How are you, sir?
I have been and always shall be your co-host, Joe Tonello.
Oh, and together we make up the Get Bit podcast. And much like the WWE of old, we do have some choice language. So therefore, viewer discretion is advised. And because it is a trailer overload, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, how do we usually start this? Well, first and foremost, I know we usually start things on a very positive note. Unfortunately, we do have to start very somber. A great legend has just recently passed away. The queen of rock and roll herself, Tina Turner. It is my unfortunate duty, as well as Joe's unfortunate duty, to report that she did pass away at the age of 83. She is a Tennessee native. She is a trailblazer and will be forever remembered for her multiple hits. And we just want to say rest well. It's never easy to report those things, especially for those that are just literal rock icons, and she definitely was it.
Yes, she has gone to the great Thunderdome in the sky, where love does have everything to do with it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the Heavenly Choir got told to be backup singers at this point. She showed up. I think St. Peter just sat there and told the choir, "You are all now backup singers." But also, we do have some good news, especially I do want to start with this because it's kind of short. Like I said, we have a lot of trailers to go through with the showcase and, of course, other things that came out. But we've also gotten a gift from Bungie. Bungie, if you have been paying attention, did release this short out there. And all I can say is I am very, very happy.
I don't even know where to begin. You've missed so much. We've slain gods, vanquished nightmares, fought alongside those who we once fought against. I wish you could have been there.
Yeah, me too, kiddo. But hey, I'm here now. Whatever the hell here is.
All I can say is welcome back. Why did they get rid of you? I have no idea. But that is actually the trailer for the next campaign for the next season of Destiny called The Final Shape. We will find out more information about that come August 22nd. But Nathan Fillion is reprising his role as Cayde Six. Again, I'm not going to go into spoiler territory because if you don't know, if you have been playing Destiny, you really don't know what has happened to Cayde Six. I don't want to spoil it for you. Just know that he is back. I'm going to be curious to see how he is going to come back just because of what has happened previously. But again, we will definitely find out about that. But Joe, anything about that? Anything about Destiny as far as seeing Nathan Fillion returning?
I've only played it for 2 hours and moved on.
Damn.
However, I will say this: if you're called The Final Shape, you're probably the last DLC before they announce Destiny 3.
Well,
or they'll lead into Destiny 3.
Well, in their defense, Destiny 3 has been coming for a while now. They're just trying to give us, like I said, I'm kind of happy they're going with a complete story for Destiny 2. I'm not against it. But like I said, I'm not against having a 3 either. I mean, to me, it's still an awesome MMO first-person shooter. But to see Cayde Six back, I am freaking happy. Although could have been a response to Lance Reddick, and of course, with Zavala no longer being a part of it, it could have something to do with that. But again, we are happy that he is back in the game. Some other quick news I do want to get into because this really has nothing more beyond it. As me and Joe talked about last week, we did see the trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. which is supposed to reset, kind of a soft reset of the Mortal Kombat universe, with Fire God Liu Kang running the show, and we sing Sang soon. We did get some more information about that. We did find out that Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay will premiere during the Summer Game Fest. Now, for all those that don't know what that is another Geoff Nightly production in which that, much like the Video Game Awards, we really don't care about the awards that much. We just know that there's going to be trailers there about games that we want to see. So Mortal Kombat 1's gameplay will premiere during that. I'm kind of curious to see what we'll see, what characters will show, or if they even show anything as far as combos, fatalities, animalities have been rumored to come back. Brutalities and friendships have been rumored to come back. But as of right now, nothing is concrete until we see it. Summer Games usually happens between July and August. But as that date comes up, that was one of the games that we will be looking at very closely.
Now, I can guarantee one thing.
What's that?
We know for a fact that Jean-Claude Van Damme is a skin.
We do that.
So I can guarantee you the friendship is the kickboxer dance.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Pelvic thrust and downward arm thrusting the whole time.
If they do that, you know how many people are going to be sitting there saying, something that's kickboxer, and all of a sudden kickboxer is going to become a trend?
Well, everybody keeps forgetting that Mortal Kombat was originally supposed to be a kickboxer game.
Yeah.
Before they lost the hold of the license, and then they had this game. It's like,
what do we do with it?
What are we gonna do with it?
Right. I heard that, but I wouldn't be mad about it. It would just be funny to me. It really would be.
The other thing that we're noticing with Mortal Kombat is that it looks like we are set in a feudal time period. Yep. So the cameos are probably
giggity. All
right. The cameo characters look like they are characters from other time periods, or across the multiverses. Now the Mortal Kombat multiverse has been established. The Mortalverse, I don't know what we're calling that thing. But it looks like that's what the cameo fighters are going to be, because it does look like everybody is like original. So this is not traditional Hanzo Scorpion. This is the first man to be Scorpion.
Well, we are going to see some slight differences. That's true. There are going to be some slight differences among the main characters.
Like
just because. Raiden? So what?
You mean like a mortal, normal-sized Raiden?
Yeah. To see a mortal Raiden, yeah, that's gonna be definitely interesting. Or to see Kung Lao as a reborn Kung Lao.
The great Kung Lao.
Would he be great, or would he be the?
No, he is the one that Liu Kang trains at the end of the Aftermath is considered the original Kung Lao, the great Kung Lao. Who was Earthrealm's original champion until Shang Tsung went and got Goro.
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna say either he's great or he's the ancient or he's the newer one, but either way, come Summer of Games, we are going to find out exactly what this gameplay is about. You know, we all know we're gonna buy it because let's be honest, it's the Holy Trinity. What's up, Diggs? By the way, 7. Thanks for watching. Which I know who you was, but thanks for watching. But no, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, what it goes from by that. Also, another game that we do want to point out before we get into the showcase. Wrestling games really don't get a lot of fanfare outside of WWE 2K. Even though, from what I've been told, 2K23 has actually been better than the previous version out there. With that being said, we were wondering what happened with AEW games since Kenny Omega and others kind of did a little spoof about that months ago. Well, come to find out, we actually now have some dates about when you can play AEW Fight Forever.
Howdy folks, Kenny Omega here for AEW and AEW Games. Now, quite some time ago, we announced our first foray into the video game world, AEW Fight Forever. We wanted to develop an arcade experience that was fun, easy to pick up and play, but difficult to master. And we believe that AEW and our partners with Yuke's have created just that experience. And finally, I'm happy to announce that we are ready to announce a release date. So, for Nintendo Switch, PS4, 5, Xbox, and PC, you can finally get your hands on AEW Fight Forever on June 29th. Get your copy now, pre-download, pre-order. Thank you so much for your patience and being awesome fans. And I hope to see you guys online in the game. Until then, must bid you adieu, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bye-bye.
Well, as you heard from the cleaner himself, AEW Fight Forever will be coming out on that specific date. I'm curious because on that June 29th, it talked about, that they partnered with Ukes and THQ. Now, for all those that don't know, those were the initial two companies that actually did the WWE games before they went over to, forgot exactly who they changed to now. But Ukes, for a lot of people who don't know, they were behind WWF No Mercy, which by far, and also WCW Revenge, two of the best wrestling games, in my opinion. Between No Mercy and WCW Revenge, I thought those were two of the best technically sound wrestling games that we had out at the time. I know a lot of other people are going to be saying, well, you forgot about Fire Pro Wrestling. You forgot about this. I didn't forget about them. But you have to understand, Fire Pro Wrestling was an import for the longest time until 6-7 years ago, to where you can actually play it here. It was an import. So don't get me wrong. I haven't forgot about Fire Pro Wrestling. I haven't forgot about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Great games. But for a lot of us, it was either WWE or WCW. That's all we had. But now that Fight Forever is going to come out, I am looking forward to that. Joe, any thoughts on Fight Forever?
They replaced CM Punk with MDF.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen.
Also, they put it out at probably the worst possible time in the world, because you're putting it out 3 days after the release of Final Fantasy 16. Good luck to you.
But as a Final Fantasy fan, I am looking forward to 16, but I can't play it until I get a PS5. AEW games, what WWE games would look like. You beat me to it. you're not wrong. It's just that WWE kind of just had some bug issues and they just never really fixed them. So that's always been the problem with WWE games. But like I said, 2K seems to be great right now. I haven't really heard a lot of problems with it, but we will see. But I'm not against it. CM Punk, which is kind of funny they mentioned him because real quick, he's supposed to be on AEW Collision when the first episode comes out. He's supposed to be on it because it's actually going to be in Chicago, Illinois at the United Center, his stomping grounds. So
probably not, because I think the stipulation for him getting back is somebody they don't want.
Oh, A Steel, we can say it, and they'll work it out because A Steel is his bargaining chip, and they're going to work that out. Mark my words on that. But to get back into Fight Forever again, I'm looking forward to it. Kenny Omega has always been one of my favorite wrestlers, along with the Young Bucks. MJF is a great heel. I'm just curious to see what they do with this game. But like I said, in 3 days, we're going to find out. But also, it's going to be hard not to want Final Fantasy 16 because that looks great as well, even though that was also in the PlayStation Showcase this past Wednesday. But speaking of that showcase, like I said, we are definitely trailer heavy with that because the PlayStation Showcase was nearly 2 hours long. But what we did, we literally sat there and me and Joe kind of picked out the games that we really wanted to see and talk about, and we think were probably the best parts of that showcase. Now, I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
So, for those that are unaware, there were leaks surrounding this showcase saying that this was going to be how was it put by somebody? Send your nuts to space and blow them up levels of excitement.
Pretty much.
Like, they slotted this thing to be like the next best thing since sliced bread, knowing that in a week and a half, we're going to have Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
Let's be very blunt here. I barely got to the launch pad, and then they called it off because of some clouds.
Yeah.
Meaning we got to see the rocket, which is Spider-Man 2. That rocket didn't go anywhere.
But to their defense, there was some surprise ones in there.
We got I will give them in terms of altitude, we maybe got 30,000 feet.
Yeah, we got the cruising. We got the cruising altitude.
We didn't even get to the stratosphere.
We got to cruising. We can do cruising right now. Cruising's okay.
We got the cruising, and then one of the boosters blew.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, all you can do is cruise. But
No, at that point, you're just SpaceX.
yeah, pretty much. Well, Blue Origin, if you really count the failure. But anyway, but that being said, guys, we do want to start off with basically the jewel of the showcase. And yes, we are going to show its entirety because it really was a very well done showcase for Marvel Spider-Man 2.
You grow slow in your old age, Sergei. A fate you will not share. I've been in your shadow for hours, but you sense nothing. Pathetic. I asked for an equal, and this is what you find.
Sir, perhaps a new hunting ground.
Light the fires. The great hunt begins.
Lizard sighted in Queens. Closing in now.
Cover the door. The beast could be anywhere.
You have no idea.
This whole lizard hunt ends now! Leave Connors alone! Craven wants a hunt? I'll give him one he'll never forget! He's gonna wish he never came to New York!
Stand by and wait quarters. Satellite scanning all active feeds. Triangulating position. Target located at Harlem Fish Market. All teams converge.
Lizard's across the river. I'm not gonna make it in time. Miles, the hunters tracked Connors to the Harlem Fish Market.
Lizard. I'm on it. Sounds like Craven's checking off his...
We don't have much time. Move.
Guess we'll chat later? Genki, the lizard's loose at the fish market.
Must be sushi night.
You still got that hunter drone you hijacked?
Been really tough hiding it from my mom, but yeah, I'll boot up and see you there.
They got here fast. Can't let him find Connors, or he's done for.
Spread out. If you find the lizard, don't engage alone. Look at those fish. It's been feeding.
Never saw it coming. So, how's the hunt going?
Watch out for his new power!
Judging by the 3 tons of dead fish, not well. All right. Where are you, Connors? Garage might lead to him. Connors tore through this place. He's out of control. Where am I now? How'd you find me?
Follow the fish. Drone's picking up lizard's trail.
He's still eating. We can catch him off guard. Genki, get behind me. It's just his skin.
Doesn't that mean he's getting bigger?
Hungrier too. Whoa. Hey, man. New threats?
The building's swarming with hunters. Any sign of Connors?
Yeah. Genki's tracking him.
Hey, Mr. Parker. Mr. Spider-Man, I mean.
But the data's incomplete.
Okay, I think I got a lock.
Genki, wait! Be chill! That wasn't me.
Me neither.
I don't even have a stomach, so...
Let's go!
Go, go, go! Take him alive!
Can't lose Connors. Harry's dying, and he's the only one who can help.
We won't! You take the drones, I got the jet skis. Cool if I borrow this?
This is really, really exciting.
Keep it tight, man. Watch out for those drones.
Don't worry, they think I'm a friendly.
Take him out!
The East River is not a river, but in fact a saltwater tidal flat. But Spider-Man is fighting on right now! Everybody down!
Help the tour boat! Right! I've got the metal murder bird!
I warned you about going after Connors. Now this is on you. Poison clouds. That all you got?
Almost done here. Civilians are all safe. How you looking?
This gunship won't quit.
I'm right behind you. We'll take it down together.
No time. I got you.
Time to go boom, boys!
Oh, no! Spider-Man has got defenses! Spider-Man, hang on!
I do not want to be lizard food. Got him! Hold on! Look out! Everyone, take cover! What are you guys doing? Trying to take out that gunship! Can't get close enough!
But I can. I'm one of them, remember?
Bro, that's it! Pete! Alley-oop on 3!
Hi!
1, 2, 3! Alley! Woo!
He got away from us.
It's good, Pete. I saved the tracker. Let's go, man, before he gets too far.
No. He's mine.
You sure? He's got big teeth.
So do I. He's not normally like that, right?
No. He's never like that.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but that right there, what Sony could have done right there, they could have just done a showcase and been the end of that. That should have really been it. Hey, and look who we have with us, the man on the wall.
What's happening?
Of the North. Chris,
We got a whole book we got to talk about you today.
Oh my God, that was a sweet sequence they got. That gameplay is really nice.
But yes, that is it was weird that Sony decided to make that the last part of it. Now, granted, for all those that stuck around, we appreciate it. It was 15 minutes, but you guys gotta appreciate. Number one, the first Marvel Spider-Man was honestly a masterpiece. Spider-Man Miles Morales,
Even better.
Short, it was still great. And now we're about to get them on their next adventure into where we do know there's going to be a Venom, obviously because of the black suit and the symbiote. We do know that Lizard's going to be a part of it. We do know that there is what looks to be a sweet switch feature that you can either play as Peter Parker or Miles Morales, depending on the mission. And that, of course, Miles does have unique powers. If you follow the original, the first Miles Morales game, you'll understand how he got the blue light powers instead of his usual Venom strike. So again, it does mesh up to where it is in the stories as well as the comics. But Chris, real quick, what did you think of the showcase? Oh, what did you think of Spider-Man 2 in the showcase they showed?
That looks amazing. I think what Sony manages to do it especially when it comes to any of their Spider-Man games.
Mm-hmm.
I think they hit it. What was it back in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s? Like when they really started playing with free roaming and everything else.
Yeah,
they were on to something because that's what we were looking for even then. It was like, yeah, we want a free Spider-Man. Why wouldn't you want that? And then they just kind of built on that. And I haven't really played any of the Spider-Man games that's been bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was just like you figured it out. Like that's your niche.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've never played Spider-Man 3. Got it.
Actually on that one. I was just like, but then again, I blame the movie. But
can't argue that.
So there are one thing I am sad we did not get in this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We did not get Tony Todd doing Venom. He is Venom. They have confirmed Candyman is Venom.
True, but it's a small sacrifice because of what we got to see. We did get to see quite a lot.
Also, we have confirmed via this thing that Shocker is going to be in this game. I swear to God, if we do not hear "I will chase you to the end of the earth" screamed at Yuri Lowenthal, top of Yuri Lowenthal's lungs,
It should
I'll be
happen.
very disappointed.
Should happen, but let's be honest, it should happen. But no, we're looking forward to this. They did not say, and I have to go back and look because I'm not 100% sure about this. This may only be a PS5 exclusive.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty sure it is, just because of how the graphics look. It looked like it was moving at 45 to 60 frames per second. It did look more high end. It did look more on the high end side, so it may be a PS5 exclusive. Again, I unfortunately cannot confirm that right now, but for all details showing there, it looks like it might be it.
So there's already some minor controversy with this game.
What's that?
Because the black suit is not the smooth black suit. And people were saying, why does he look like the Guyver? So first off, I give props to these people for knowing who the Guyver is.
At least they're not talking out their back end. That's right.
I am very happy that those people will at least make that comparison. It gives me hope for that kind of level of nerdistry. But they got to realize, what was it? It's like, it doesn't look alien enough. And I'm like, the alien suit, the living suit that is an alien, does not look alien enough.
Right.
And they're like, now, granted, this Venom is very much like Ultimate Venom, where he is a synthetic life form made on Earth. There are no Clintars in this one. But, and yes, he does have shoulder pads. Hey, that's great. Agent Venom also had shoulder pads. We all had shoulder pad phases. It was called the 90s for men, and it was called 80s for women. Now, you know what? Smooth singular suit is fun, fantastic. I'll give it to you for this one, but I think that suit looks great.
There's always going to be nitpickers, no matter what. You're never going to get somebody who's not going to sit there and go, it's perfect. Outside of all three of us, we all have come to this consensus, like, it looks great. When can we play it? That's the next question.
Yes.
But you're always going to find folks who are going to just, be that comic book guy from The Simpsons. They're going to be that nitpicky. They're going to be him. That's just the way it is. But before we go on to the next trailer, because like I said, guys, these are the things that me and Joe had picked out that we thought were great. But they did actually give some information on new hardware for the PS5 that'll be joining it. It's It's basically this. For all those that don't know, I just want to give you a picture of it. So a lot of games going handheld now. I mean, you've probably seen Backbone, you've seen the Steam Deck, you've probably seen Asus come out with their own handheld gaming. Well, PS5 is actually trying to reproduce the magic behind their PSP, their Vita, and things of that nature, because they are coming up with another handheld, as you can see right there, which will work alongside your PS5. Unfortunately, it will require Wi-Fi, but let's be honest, that's how most mobile gaming is going to go these days. There's also Bluetooth earbuds that are PS5 that can actually connect to the handheld or to the PS5 itself. If you're that Apple about it. Now, I say that Apple about it because if you are an Apple person, you probably just got offended on what I just said, as you have your Apple earbuds. And
they won't be offended. They won't be offended for another 5 years when they get that update.
Because I'm pretty sure they got offended when I'm like, how dare you talk about my earbuds, my iPad, and my iPhone?
Okay, so let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
This thing's going to fail right out the gate.
I'm with you, Joe.
Because people don't understand. This is not a travel system. This is a system that works off remote play, meaning you got to be within toilet range of your PlayStation 5.
Pretty much.
And preferably toilet range. Indeed.
Yeah. The sad part is you would think with the PSP app where it can work anywhere as long as the unit is connected to a network and you can connect to a network, you can run it remotely. Now, depending on your internet speeds, it might work great. It might be choppy. I wouldn't recommend playing multiplayer on it. But it's just, but let's be honest, as more handhelds are coming out, companies are trying to compete. Now, Xbox is sitting happy with their Xbox Anywhere with their app. Their app has worked flawlessly. So it's just that's one of the times that Sony's having to play catch up with Microsoft, where Microsoft has been perfecting it. But
so the only upside I can see to this is it's a Sony device, which means they're gonna break this thing right out the gate.
Yeah,
and they're just gonna have a really nice high resolution Raspberry Pi, whatever the new
they're gonna
MAME or whatever the new Gizmo system that lets them dump games onto it is.
You already know they're going to reverse engineer this, and it's going to be about 8 to 10 different models of the same thing in the same year. You already know that's going to happen.
And yet it still won't be able to run Nintendo 64 games.
It's also true. Can't argue that. But another trailer that came out, this was not a part of the showcase. This was interesting because I have to give Chris credit first because I saw it on Chris's Instagram first before Joe brought it to me. Will Smith is in the game, and I know Will Smith is starting to make his, I'm not gonna say his apology tour, but it's almost like I'm gonna try different things to let y'all know that I'm okay, but I want y'all to enjoy it too. He is actually in a game where I have to give Chris credit for this. This is basically I Am Legend, but I just wanted you guys' opinions on, does it make you want to play it or does it make you want to trash it? Here's the trailer. It's called Undawn.
I know what you're thinking. Anybody would kill to have this view. At least that's what I tell myself every day. I mean, every damn day. And no, you're not dreaming. Here, you're free to go anywhere. If you want to explore, you can escape into the wilderness. Best of all, you can find peace and quiet under the stars. Can't beat a breakfast you caught yourself. You can fry them, grill them, or smoke them if you got them. You got your choice of wheels. Some are more selfie-friendly than others. Now this is hot. Sometimes you need a little more horsepower. Dope, right? But, there is one thing. The neighbors kind of suck. They really suck. They do not respect boundaries. They'll chew you up and won't spit you out. We, survivors, have a problem with that. We are not your dinner. Period. This is Will Smith, and I'm waiting for you in Undawn.
I've seen this premise before. This is that timeshare joke they did in Family Guy, where like they do the flag march and the trolls start eating the people.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't know how to put this.
It's not enough for me to be invested.
It really isn't.
You mean you're not invested in Will Smith Negan?
No, it's just for Undawn. From what I'm looking at this like Chris said, I had to give him credit for this. This does kind of give I Am Legend vibes, except it seems like it's more surrounded, and I'm just taking a shot in the dark here. Maybe a 4-person or maybe a 6-person fire team, because that's usually how most shooters go. That either you're playing by yourself or with a group. Still with the undead,
it was like undead, and then it was like in one part of the I think the other trailer that I had, it was like a mutated monster.
Yeah.
So it was given like Walking Dead / Last of Us / Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's like almost Back for Blood vibes, really.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not bad. It's just like, okay, we've done this before.
Tech Guy wants his no mustache.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't just me looking at him like, man, he looks weird. Just I'm like, who else has that look? And I'm okay. I know now.
Oh God, that was funny. I don't know.
I genuinely like Will Smith. I really do. I really do.
But
it's just
I gotta put it this way. It needs more. It needs more. I need to see if you.
That's just a trailer. It's not enough. There's no gameplay. There's nothing. You're not feeding it to me.
Right. So it's just it's different, but I'm hoping more comes out. Really and truly, I hope it does. Joe, aside from the Family Guy reference, anything else you got?
No, like, I mean, I know I'm not playing it.
Dang, it's like Left 4 Dead and Dead Island had a baby. Yep. Yeah. That's exactly. I will agree with that.
I'm kind of over the whole zombie survival thing. Like, if I really want that, I got Resident Evil 2. I can just pop it back in there anytime I want.
Now there are some good ones out there, but like I said, we all agree that more is needed before we can make a final judgment on that. But speaking of things got final judgment, I gotta bring up this next one because Phantom Blade. If you did not see this trailer at the showcase, watch this and you'll wonder why we haven't heard nothing about this.
You have only 66 days to live. Just run away. It won't make any difference at the end of the day. You know better than anyone else that no one could escape.
Everyone wears a mask. You too.
This is a real face.
He let you live? What secret did you sell him?
Only a dead person can keep a secret.
Going where? This damn place! You're suicidal!
One last toast. And we're all done.
Patience is the key, Master. Time is not on his side. All we have to do is wait.
Yes. Let's kill him with time.
What's your plan? Knowing you have only 66 days to live.
get my heart back.
Jesus. I'm trying to figure out how
I need that as a movie done overseas right now.
I mean, I can tell you how.
Go for it, Joe.
China.
I guess. Because
a lot of this is the first time gameplay was ever shown.
Yeah.
This has been shown for about 2 years now in a lot of Asian markets that don't get, in a lot of Asian game and trade shows that don't get a lot of press.
Uh-huh.
No, that's how this has gone under the radar this long.
Wow, it looks amazing.
It really does, and I need to get a PS5. But But that was Phantom Blade Zero. Again, this was one of the surprises in the showcase. Like, we all expected Spider-Man. We expected Spider-Man 2. We really did. We did this because, my God,
the sword play counters. I'm like, yo, wait a minute.
Yeah, it plays a lot like a game I already own called Sword and Fairy that's on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is like here, it's Sword and Fairy. What's it called? Together, something or other. In China, this is Sword and Fairy 6.
I was gonna say it's like Shakiro and Ninja Gaiden had a baby.
Yeah, I was getting Ninja Gaiden vibes right off the bat. I'm like, this looks good. This looks good.
Vibes. There's no scarf.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, isn't that Shinobi?
No, Gaiden did it too. Okay,
Gaiden did. I remember I said Gaiden, yeah, they did because like Shinobi had the ridiculously long red scarf, but
no, that was Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that was Ninja Gaiden too. I was like Shinobi, the remade one about 10 years ago when Yeah, but no, with Phantom Blade Zero, I'm ready to play it. It just gives me that vibe where it's like it is, as Chris said, it really should be a movie. I'm surprised it's not, just because of how it looks. But I think that's probably gonna be one of the games. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now, Joe, and now Chris. I think it's gonna be more in Summer of Games. I think we're gonna find out more about that in 2 months, just because I think that's gonna be a sleeper.
Yeah, the color grading is really clean. You know, it's not too vibrant or anything. Is giving me feudal Japan, and just I'm liking it. I'm wanting this right now. I'm like, all the vibes is there. The lotus blossoms in the rain. I'm like, the sound design. I'm like, this is.
I mean, you heard footsteps. Literally, the reverb off the clanging of the swords. You hear more of the environment than you actually hear of the game. Like, it is such. Like, I'm a big thing about sound. If you can make sound that impactful, similar to like Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is the same thing. They really emphasize the environment over background music, which is exactly what Phantom Blade Zero is doing. But I am digging it. But it's just like Black Myth Wukong. You gotta give me a release date. I need this. I still want to play the Monkey King. I still want to do the War in Heaven. I still want to play that story. So Game Science, we're gonna need some information come Summer of Games. I mean, give us a release date or just release us from our hope. One of the two. But speaking of things, also other surprises. This one was different because the trailer didn't match what the game actually was until the very freaking end. But I'm not going to complain about it because it's Metal Gear, and this is actually the trailer for it. The name is so different now because it's called Metal Gear Solid Delta, but it's still remaking 3 Snake Eater.
Yeah.
and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you.
See, it's one of those times where you just it's like James Bond music. You hear it and you just
it is James Bond music. I'm like, I'm so not used to that. I'm not used to Snake having James Bond music.
And it slaps. It still slaps. But that was the trailer. Like I said, the trailer didn't match up to the game, to the actual gameplay. But instead of calling, I mean, it is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, but this time it's called Metal Gear Solid Delta. Just a quick blurb. This is the Big Boss version of Snake. So this is before he's actually called. Why are you shaking your head, Joe? Because
he's not the big boss.
Not yet, but this is basically him. I forgot what he calls himself in this game. Yes.
No, he doesn't get that till the end of the game.
Yes, he does become Big Boss at the end of the game.
He's not even the boss. He's just Naked Snake.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Naked Snake. I know he's one of the snakes. But that being said, Metal Gear Solid 3 is, well, it's argued. Some people, depending on who you ask what their favorite Metal Gear Solid was, some people believe the first one. Some people might like 2. A lot of people may say 3. You may get Phantom Pain. I'm kind of in between 3 and 5 myself because Phantom Pain was a masterpiece. 3 was a masterpiece. I did not like Metal Gear Survive just because Hideo Kojima was not behind it and it was good and terrible. But no, but they are going to do remakes of this, as well as they did announce that they will have
they are re-releasing the Metal Gear Collection.
There you go.
Which will have Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear Snake's Revenge for MXX, Metal Gear Solid in 8D, re-release of the HD collection of Metal Gear 2 and Snake Eater 3.
That's the one thing I didn't like, because why not at this point? You are remaking arguably one of the more popular Metal Gears, because anybody who's ever played Against the End, I still hate that boss.
That was the parrot that was in that trailer, was the End's parrot.
Yeah, I hate him. Don't get me wrong, that boss taught me patience, but I hate him so much because he insulted you and then nursed you back to health, and then wanted you to come back and try again. That was literally the most cruelest teacher in the entire game.
I got him no problem.
How did you get him?
I went through the trouble of actually getting his camo.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I did Trank kills that whole game, and the end was not that hard if you went through the trouble of getting the thermoscope early as early as possible.
I decided to go the hard route. And say, you know what? I'm gonna meet you on your own terms. And he sat there and said, "You can try." But
I mean, there's 4 ways to get rid of the dude. So you can shoot him with a sniper rifle while he's in the wheelchair in the cutscene.
That's just wrong. I know about that part, but I'm like,
and get your PlayStation for 2 weeks and kill him through old age.
That's father time.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, but who's got that type of that? That's, you know what? You got to be a dedicated person to want to take him out with just hands. You got to be dedicated.
That's a different type of rage.
Yeah,
that's a totally
that kind of
different
commitment means you beaten Bayou Billy without the Game Genie.
Because I'm just like, you gotta be a different kind of person that you want to take out a sniper with just hands. I mean, doable, yes, but I'd rather just take him out with his own weapon and move on. But that's just me. But I'm not judging how you want to end the game or start a game, because there were definitely different ways to beat Metal Gear Solid 3. But that was probably one of, outside of Phantom Pain, to me, that was one of the more complete games. And let's be honest, it's the first Metal Gear Solid that had a theme song that just, it gave you gold. It gave you the Man with the Golden Gun vibes. If you're a James Bond fan, those types of themes kind of stick. GoldenEye sticks. The World Is Not Enough.
Moonraker.
Yeah, Moonraker. I mean, all of them have their classic theme songs. Skyfall. they all we can keep going down the line about James Bond films, but the point I'm making is between that and the Phantom Pain, those just had those masterpieces behind it. But I just want to ask you guys, does that make y'all want to go back to playing with Naked Snake again in Metal Gear Solid 3?
I don't know why they hadn't done this earlier. When you have certain we sort of had to we had a conversation close to this on Blurred's Eye where we talk about like Nintendo. Nintendo knows that they're always a shoe-in for any type of Mario game, any type of Zelda game.
Yeah,
flat out. That's it. No question.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to Xbox, it could probably be NFL, whatever. I don't know.
They're begging on college football right now, but I see your point.
right. You know, so here you're looking at PlayStation, and it's like you have the library. You know, you pretty much are breaking the back of oh shit, I can't think of the name now of the game. Vice City and all these other games.
Rockstar?
Yeah, all the Rockstar games. You're like you're breaking their back. You're breaking their back. Like to the point where you're just like, oh, we're not even giving you a new game. We're going to give you a new patch.
Yeah, because
you know
they keep open for GTA, and they just now announced that it might be coming.
Yeah, and it's like I'm like, all right, how much more of GTA you gonna give us? You know,
right?
Like, you where's Siphon Filter? Where's Snake? You have it there.
The thing is like Snake is not particularly a Sony thing. This falls down on a Konami scenario.
Yeah, but Konami and Kojima really have sat there and said their piece after 5.
Well, yeah, that's probably the other reason is they probably had a no compete contract or some sort of contract, time frame contract they had to fulfill. That's purely speculation on my part. Now, the other thing we can double back on why they're re-releasing HD Metal Gear 3 in conjunction with Delta is we get a lot of that promotional missions.
Yeah.
And the side missions like the Ape Escape crossover for Metal Gear 3.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're re-releasing Metal Gear 3 HD is all that stuff, because we also get all the special mission, VR mission stuff in the other Metal Gears.
But the thing that always killed me was you had Peace Walker, you had the PSP games that eventually did get released, but those actually filled in the blanks all the way up to Ground Zeroes. But nobody's. I mean, if you're not that dedicated Metal Gear fan, you're not gonna play them.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it is a giant undertaking. Not only to take a previous game, but to remaster it and bring it up to date graphics and probably include some things that you probably wanted to do at the original point, but it fell to the cutting floor. I get that it's a massive undertaking, but for me, and this is just me. If you're gonna, to me, it's full speed or nothing. You could start with Metal Gear, the NES version, and work your way all the way up to the front.
I mean, look. Okay, so like earlier this year, Nintendo announced that they were re-releasing GoldenEye.
Yeah,
absolute freaking classic. I'm with you on that. Give me the whole thing.
Yeah,
just run the gambit. Run the gambit. If you're gonna do it, do the whole thing.
Yeah, because to me, I'm sorry, Joe. What were you gonna say before I start?
If we're going full thing, then you better be supporting Metal Gear Acid remakes.
I wouldn't be. Look, it wouldn't be. I will support. I'll say it this way: I will support everything up to Survive. You will lose me after Phantom Pain. I'm not gonna lie. After the Phantom Pain, that's where my fandom stops.
Yeah, I mean, this game is already being boycotted, so you know.
Oh yeah, because don't get me wrong, I understand where they're coming from. If Kojima's not behind it, it's not gonna have that familiar stamp. I get it.
They're gonna have to credit Kojima because this is just a remaster.
Yeah, he has to. He's still gonna get his money. He's gonna get his money and credit. He's definitely gonna get that. But I'm not against it though, because like I said, that was one of the more popular games. That was one of the more popular stories because everybody was rooting for Ocelot. Let's be honest, because Snake practically trained Ocelot in that game. He practically told him, Nah, you need a revolver. You're more of a revolver type guy. You're not a handgun guy.
And then the moment he gets the revolver, it's like, why in God's name did you engrave it? This does nothing for you tactically.
It's like I said, it's one of those games that just sticks with you. And I'm not against the fact that they decided to go with just one, but it's a calculated, it's a safe guess because they can't remake 5. There's no way you can remake 5 because that was toward the earlier part of the PS4. So technically, a remake is not in that same wheelhouse. And at the same time, what more could you do with 5 at this point? Because
they could actually finish it.
Oh, we'll never
add in that
that.
4th act that never got put in because
we'll never get that. As much as I want that, we'll never get it. I would love to get that 4th act, but we'll never get it just because, again, Konami and Kojima, those like that is a line in the sand that no side is crossing. But again, Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out. As you see, there are going to be relaunches. Are they using this to see if other games will come along, or if other people will sit there and say, "What about Peace Walker? What about this? What about that?" It's a calculated risk to see how many people will sit there and say, "Well, we like this game. Can we get the rest of them?" So I get that to a certain extent, but still, lay out the whole gambit. What's the worst that could happen? That's all I'm saying. Beyond that,
don't half-ass it. I mean, give me another Red Dead.
Oh,
Jesus!
I don't need Life Simulator 1908. I'm good.
Red Dead Redemption 2, that is a mess. I don't see how Rockstar. Not to go off topic. I can't see Rockstar topping that
every single day.
For Red Dead Redemption, yeah, Red Dead, it's a classic.
I can't see them topping it. I will be honest with you. As much as I want to see another Red Dead Redemption, 2 was like.
This is
only our show on the table. What you gonna do?
Cowboy game.
What's it?
2 was too much like a real life simulator than it was a cowboy game. Like, literally, people would not talk to you if you did not bathe on a regular basis. Like, I don't want to have to take care of personal hygiene if I'm going to go rob a bank.
That is a fair point.
I think when you have certain properties, like take Fable for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Fable's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. And then you gave me Fable 2. Fable 2 was okay.
Yeah.
And then Fable 3, it was just like
it didn't match up. I mean, it didn't match up. It was like, you kind of threw your best shot on the second game.
Yeah.
And like third was like going back for 2 scoops, but it didn't hit the same.
Right.
And so that's why I always sit there and say, with Red Dead Redemption 2, that reminded me that to me was like the crown jewel. That's like saying we've hit our mark. We're not going to top this.
You want to hear a funny story about Fable and Red Dead?
What's up?
So in Fable, it's pretty much like Red Dead. You go to these different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So I had got married in one town. My character got married in one town because I saved their town, so they gave me a wife. I forgot the name of the town, and I was working like crazy overtime. So when I went back like 2 weeks,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, where's my wife? Ain't never at this house. What is going on? And I'm like, okay, whatever. Did a mission.
Oh my God!
Whole other town. I have 2 wives in Fable. I don't know where the first one is at. The first one is just gone.
You have the animal road trip syndrome?
Yeah.
You have the animal road tour syndrome?
Yep. I was like,
you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went to a whole nother town where they was like, I'm like, okay. And I defeated all their little werewolf creatures, and they were just like, here. And I'm like, okay, I don't like this town too much. It's raining all the time, but at least she's home. And
that's priorities.
Wait, your town was Seattle?
Wow.
And then on top of that, and then when I played Red Dead,
mm-hmm.
and you know how to get to the part where you settle down, have a wife, have a kid,
mm-hmm.
I was playing it and, did my thing, killed the grizzly bear, got a couple bounties, came back, shot some coyotes off my farm, went in, wife and kid is there. And I'm like, I like this. I like this. My mom. My family's home. Every time I go out and do something, come back, my family's here waiting for me.
No, I don't want that responsibility in real life. What makes me think I want that responsibility in a game?
Oh dear God!
Like, son, I come in, my son's doing his homework. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's how you know it's a game.
Huh?
So that's how you know it's a game.
Yeah.
you start making those things. But anyway, dear God. A couple more trailers we got, guys, before we get on to the Barbie, and also another thing from Disney Plus for their Kazazi Moto Generation Fire, which again will come out July the 5th. Looking really forward to that to see actually that going. But two of the games, because they are very short in trailers, but again, make me want to play them. This one was my favorite just because I love the first one. I think it's one of the most underrated games on PlayStation right now that you can get. It is the most challenging game, but it's very rewarding. But this is the sequel to it. It's called Ghost Runner 2. I told you guys, short and sweet. Now, if you know about Ghost Runner, this again was one of the more underrated games on the PlayStation Network. It actually still is available for you to play. It is basically first-person free running. It's like, you know what it is? It's like Mirror's Edge and Prince of Persia.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's Mirror's Edge and Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, Shadow Warrior, also another first person. Also, Shadow Warrior 3 is great, by the way, if you never had a chance to play it. But like I said before, I highly recommend, if you haven't played the first Ghost Runner, it is available on PlayStation Plus. If you do have PlayStation Plus, you can definitely download it for free and play it yourself. I am loving this. As far as it being a sequel, I think it deserved one. But that's really all I can say about that. But Joe, Chris, have y'all guys ever played Ghost Runner before?
I have not played Ghost Runner. I've actually seen it being played. I've watched the gameplay and stuff, but I was getting Mirror's Edge off of it. I was definitely getting Mirror's Edge off of it. So I'm like, I'm not going to kick it out the bed.
But hey, I'll put it this way. I looked at it. I was just cruising through the PlayStation catalog just because I had I messed up and I bought the highest tier. So I was like, well, since the money's already gone, I might as well just see what's in here. So that's how I found Ghost Runner. That's how I found Ghost Runner. It's like, oh, watch the trailer. Okay, let me download it. And 10 minutes later, I'm playing it. So charge it up to unforeseen events as far as how I got there. But no, it is definitely worth playing. I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to this next one because Joe brought this one up, Sword of the Sea trailer, and I'm not gonna lie, it's giving me Will o' the Wisp type of gameplay. And wait till
So this is actually made by the same people that did Abzu and one other game. So this may actually be the third game in Troy because Abzu and the game that came after it are in the same universe. So this may be the same universe as the Abzu universe.
Okay, cool. Here's the Sword of the Sea trailer. I'm not gonna lie. Aside from the fact that it's visually beautiful, who else was getting Tony Hawk vibes?
Yeah.
He was. Look, I know a half pipe on saying when I see one, but no, that was the Sword of Sea trailer. Again, it looks beautiful. If you played Absol, if you played Journey, visually it looks great. I'm just ready to see what it's about. But it is coming to PS5, so I guess that's the universe's way of telling me that I need to definitely just go ahead and pony up and get a PS5. So yeah. But Joe, Chris, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, PS5 is making me want to choke slam it at this point because I'm just like,
I'm glad I treated myself and got one.
It definitely.
I'm just like, you're just good. Is like amongst me getting equipment for the show and stuff and cons. I'm just like, you're just gonna slap me through the rest of this year, aren't you?
It is definitely something else.
And
But
scene.
it messes with you. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm definitely play that. But really quickly, guys, just because we've played this trailer before, but again, we need to play it just because it's that awesome. Kizazi Moto Generation Fire. Again, guys, if you have not seen the trailer, because I posted this on my Facebook, I know Chris has posted this on Instagram and other social media. It is definitely one of Disney's first African lit studios lit animation. It looks freaking beautiful. And as of today, we can announce that this will be available on Disney Plus come July the 5th. So, again, I love the fact that it just looks stunningly beautiful. I know on Bird's Eye View, we actually got the chance to talk to multiple artists and studio heads and creators. And we have been saying all the time, especially if you've been watching shows like Star Wars Visions, which, by the way, if you have not seen season 2, my God,
you are missing out.
Right. Star Wars Visions season 2, as I said on Bird's Eye View, and I'll say it here, what Star Wars Visions is basically a job application for studios to sit there and say, hey, we can do Star Wars content if you let us do it our way. And a lot of studios have knocked out of the park. That's what makes
my favorite is the first one and the Aardman one.
Oh yeah, they're both good.
Yeah.
They were both good. But yeah, it's just the idea of just seeing African-led studios now. Also, shout out to Martian Blueberry. Shout out to
9B Collective.
9B Collective, Koala Nut Productions. Those guys and many more like them. I really do hope they get the opportunity. Like I forgot the name of the studio that's doing Kizazi Moto. And the sad part is Kira's gonna kick my ass because she told me the studio. Kira's gonna kick my ass until I forgot. But I will correct that later. But studios actually getting a chance to actually do stories is starting to get more and more popular now. So I will definitely be watching this. And also, I have found out The Little Mermaid is in theaters, and so far it has gotten nothing but positive reviews. So shout out to Chloe Bailey and the crew out there for possibly Hallie. Sorry.
It's easy to get them mixed up.
I keep thinking the shorter one of my names get mixed up. But Hallie, who does a wonderful job as Ariel, and the fact the cast is behind her. Just because of where things are, box office numbers, they may be number 1. They may dethrone Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I guess we'll find out.
It's going to be a weird, you know what? It's going to be a weird movie season.
Yeah.
Because everything seems to be coming a week apart. So, like, if you're not slamming it in the park that first week, that weekend release, and that following week before that Wednesday or Thursday,
yeah,
depending on how big the hype is,
it's hey, that's
well, I mean, The Little Mermaid's about to get webbed next week, so it don't happen.
I mean, I hate to say it.
But Across the Spider-Verse is coming out.
I mean, they're both highly anticipated movies, but let's face it, that Across the Spider-Verse is.
And while we're on this bizarre subject, I made a note. It's very interesting that. So we're seeing Flash reviews. And they have been universally praised, which is very bizarre.
Yeah.
because there's no bad reviews. You're not seeing a single bad review.
Before you finish, I have a question.
Yes.
Did positive reviews on Michael Keaton?
No. Here's where I'm getting to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm shut up.
They are universally positive.
Okay.
But they are only talking about the movie as a whole. The movie's fantastic. The movie's flawless. The movie's the best thing ever. We're not hearing anything about actors. We're not hearing anything about story. We're not hearing anything about photography. We're not hearing anything about scenes. It's only the movie's perfect. The movie's great. The movie's fantastic. The movie's flawless. And I'm like,
keywords.
Only positive, and you're only globally praising it. So the spin doctor's heavily rotating because something is rotten.
It sounds like Snyder's Stockholm syndrome.
No, this is a little bit beyond that because WB in their infinite wisdom has already spoiled 2 cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
Like a month before this thing comes out. So, like, we won't spoil them here. We'll just say cameos of said heroes have been spoiled. You can find them very easily.
Yeah.
One of them, you know what? I'm proud that you had the guts to do it. The other one, you have the nerve and the audacity to do that to somebody, to that family, and you are not right.
See, that's why. Like, don't get me wrong. I still want to see Batman and Friends. I cannot call it The Flash. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for that title. I had to call it Batman and Friends.
This movie is going to hinder on how many people have big of a nostalgia boner for hearing all 5 of Michael Keaton's phrases in that film.
Yeah, guilty.
Meanwhile, the Transformers, which is projected to do badly, has actually gotten positive reviews on multiple fronts, citing multiple things. So,
well, see, even ever since Bumblebee, which is actually a really good one.
Yes.
Ever since then, like it was like their reboot kind of universe. They're like, yeah, we're just
that's a
trashing
whole
it.
thing that the Transformer community's up in arms about.
Yeah, they were
we
just
don't
like,
we don't need to get into this.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we're trashing that. We're going with this Bumblebee thing and move forward, and it's staying in that same vein. So
yeah,
I have hopes. I have hopes. I
have hopes. I just think they used Unicron too quickly out of the gate.
It's going to be interesting to see why they went that route, but.
Well, I mean, it's a whole trilogy, and I guarantee you it's going to be kind of like the Energon trilogy, where he's always a looming threat, and they got to deal with him at some point.
But that should have been the War for Cybertron arc then.
Unicron was
really what it should have been.
That, I think.
We'll see. I mean, the fact we get RC. Good Lord.
Oh wait, that War for Cybertron. I thought you meant the video game War for Cybertron. I was like,
oh no,
that wasn't the biggest issue. The biggest issue they had to deal with was Bruticus.
No, not the video game version. No, not that. But it's gonna be interesting, like you said, Chris and Joe. It is a weird movie season because yes, Little Mermaid is possibly gonna dethrone Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I did get to see. My dear God, James Gunn, dear Lord, man, just.
I'm still a heartless monster because I'm the only.
I normally save my beer for the weekend, but I have been drinking a beer every day since that movie. I was just like, Jesus, James.
You know, honestly, I am going to go see the counter programming to Flash with friends. A lot of us are actually going to go see the new Wes Craven series or movie, Astro City.
Oh, let me know how it is. I'm kind of curious about that one myself. But no, I'm not gonna spoil Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I would say it was definitely a trilogy. It ended the way it ended correctly. It didn't need the campy Flash finale ending, which we will get to later. But it did give us an ending that really did close the door on a lot of the characters. I'll put it that way. Because like I said, it's still fresh out there. I know at some point in time, me and Joe will go back and give our thoughts on it, but just not right now. But speaking of thoughts about this, against my better judgment, Barbie has a trailer. I don't know how I feel about this, so I'm just going to
wait for this movie.
It's the curiosity, isn't it, Joe?
Oh, no, it's not even the curiosity. I can tell this is going to be a generally fun movie because of how straight and how screwed up this movie is going to be. This is going to be like everybody looked at the Lego movie and thought, was like, what the God's name is this? And then it takes that one big twist and you're sold.
With that being said, here's the Barbie trailer.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever. It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever. Do you guys ever think about dying?
When my heart breaks,
some things have been happening that might be related.
when my world shakes.
Cold shower, falling off my roof, and my heels are on the ground. What do I have to do? You have to go to the real world. You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours. The first one, the high heel. You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find.
I'm coming with you.
Okay. Wow, this is the real world. What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
Barbie in the real world. That's impossible.
If this got out, this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic!
We haven't played with Barbie since we were like 5 years old. Oh.
No one rests until this doll is back in a box.
Even if nobody else sings along.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
No, I won't let you do just one appendectomy.
But I'm a man.
But not a doctor.
Can I talk to a doctor?
You are talking to a doctor.
I need a clicky pen?
No.
A sharp thing?
No.
There he is. Doctor!
Somebody get security.
Is Bobby you still in?
And so I'm going to say this now, and we will recite the Doofenshmirtz joke. I had a nickel for every time Will Ferrell plays the main villain in a toy movie. I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's odd that it's happened twice.
I think I'm on board for this one. I'm on board just because I've already kind of figured. I don't know what the plot is, so much is in depth, but just knowing that it's definitely taking a comedic spin on it. Because for the longest time, I kept trying to figure out how are they going to spin this thing, and here it is, and I'm like, and you got Issa Rae on board, and you got Will Ferrell on board.
The fact that the main sequence, I guarantee you, the main chase sequence and action sequence is going to happen in Mattel headquarters as they try to capture Barbie and Ken.
I'm not okay. At first,
I said it for Joe. It's curiosity. I think it's for me. It's past curiosity. It's just like, yeah, I think I'm
all right. Look, let's just all admit we've all seen Mannequin when we were kids.
Yeah,
yes.
We're just gonna go see it again as Barbie.
I'm like, I'm just looking at Kate McKinnon, and I'm like, yeah, me and my brother did do that to my sister's dog.
I will give it to Margot Robbie.
Cut the hair.
Margot Robbie as Barbie, it makes sense. To see Ryan Gosling as Ken and how they're going to portray him, that makes sense.
I like that his police placard literally says "and Ken."
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's goofy, it's campy. I was like, dear God, I am probably going to want to watch this. I don't want to admit it, but I'm probably going to wind up watching this.
Like I said, it's the Doofenshmirtz joke. It's odd I had a nickel for every time Will Ferrell played a villain in a toy movie, I'd only have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's odd that it's happened twice.
Yeah, that's true. But that comes out July 22nd, so in theaters, that's going to be interesting. But what do you say? I'm sorry, Chris, what you say?
He does play a good, evil, quote unquote, evil CEO.
He will always be the guy from Teddy's Toyota on Eastbound and Down. That to me is the epitome of villainy. It's like, we want you to feel the burn. Where's the passion?
You feel the tension in the room.
See, I can only think of Austin Powers. Like, I'm going to stand up now. I don't think my leg is broken. No, it is broken.
I need some antibacterial cream.
It is starting to smell like nutmeg.
Oh dear God! Oh,
I'm on. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to see this one. I'm like, I can't tell. Just I'll tell my wife. So let's go to the movies. What you want to see? Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my wife saying that.
I can see that, but I'm not gonna lie. It would have my curiosity too. I can't say anything at that point, but really, guys, the last of the trailers that we have are really not. I mean, you can go ahead and see them. They're kind of at your own peril. Immortals of Avium, which kind of reminds me of Bioshock and World of Warcraft, was on a first-person shooter. I thought that was great. Alan Wake 2. I'm an Alan Wake fan, so I'm looking forward to the fact that they're bringing that back. Survival horror at its finest. It really is. I was disappointed in Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't know if Ubisoft didn't just show a lot or just said, we're just going to give you an assassin doing new things. And that's pretty much it. And so that really from there wraps up what we saw. Now, granted,
there was one other one I wanted to talk about, which was Tower of Abersol.
Okay, yeah.
Just Sony literally saying, so we got Tears of the Kingdom and it's going to look really good. We'll see you next year.
They really did. Although Tears of the Kingdom, my God. If Tears of the Kingdom did not bring out the engineer and a lot of people.
No. It did not bring out the, let's be real. Tears of the Kingdom brought out the sadists in people.
Hey,
they're committing war crimes and atrocities to man, to the Koroks.
Technically, we crossed that line. We crossed that line back in Call of Duty.
I have seen videos where there is just a road of Koroks on crosses.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. There were some weird ones, and then there was a guy who built a Gundam, and I give him respect.
Oh, I've seen the one that has a full form Valkyrie. I've seen someone who just built a 2-scale Gundam beam rifle.
There was one that built a
Metal Gear Rex.
One built an X-wing and a pod racer, and it flew. That was impressive, in my opinion.
At this point, the rest of the game don't even matter.
Right. You don't even care about Hyrule at this point. You're just like, what else can I build with this?
Like, don't I got something to do?
It's like
this is why they never made that Zelda Maker game.
That is true, because dear God, the stuff that people can come up with, that's worse than Super Mario Maker. Super Mario Maker gave me heart palpitations. The stuff that folks came up with, no. Now you want to talk about that sadism, the fact of what they come up with in that game, and then
they are no more difficult than Super Mario the Lost Levels.
Oh no, they made the Lost Levels like a cakewalk.
Yeah.
There were some levels in Mario Maker that folks put out, and some of them sat there and said, if you can beat this, video proof and I'll cash app you. And I looked at it and I was like, dear God, that is devil's work.
It's devil's work, but the game will not let you make the level if it's not beatable.
True, but that's the thing. Have you some of those? You know what? Nope, not going down that rabbit hole. Not going down that rabbit hole. No. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and get to our television reviews before we get to our comic pools. Joe can bring this one up because I'm still catching up on Star Trek Lower Decks. But it seems like Star Trek Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds will have a crossover. Joe, you want to explain that one?
As far as I'm aware, they will be airing a special episode of Lower Decks where they will be beaming in and then immediately scroll down. That way we can see the thing. And Beckett and Tawny Newsome, Beckett Mariner, and Jack Wade, Brad Boimler will be invading the real world and being part of Strange New Worlds, to where Boimler is just going to fanboy all over Spot to the point where they will become Spoimler.
Probably.
No, it's already been guaranteed. It's in the lower part of the article.
Oh, it's already. I was going to say it's already happened.
I'm just looking forward to this because I am a huge Lower Decks fan. It's like my favorite of all Star Treks, next to Deep Space Nine.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still catching up because I
knew I liked you, Joe. I knew I liked you.
Because Lower Decks is definitely funny. Like I said, I'm still catching up because I just finished Picard. Really quickly, I hate y'all. The showrunner. Okay, let me say this because people gonna take this the wrong way. For Picard season 3 was probably the best season of writing for that show. Not just for the cameos, for the entire run of the season.
Yeah.
I can't be mad about that. I literally cried tears when I saw a lot of familiar faces, and really how they wrapped up Picard. I cannot complain. It was a masterpiece telling of it. Now, I know folks want spinoffs, but let's enjoy this, okay? Let's enjoy this and Strange New Worlds and the last season of Discovery, because Star Trek Discovery is getting
Worf sleeping is still hilarious to me.
Look, the son of Moog has had a long day and is tired.
That is still hilarious to me. Because there was literally a part of me was just like, wait a minute, he's old. What are you thinking? He was like,
I just like the fact he sat there and said, I'm a pacifist. I'm like, and then someone had said the obvious. You do know you're holding, you do know there's a sword at your back, right? For a pacifist, you have a sword at your back. I need to have alternative options.
You turn over.
I like that some of the comic community was kind of starting to try and drag the new writer for Steel, and then when I pointed out, I was like, "You do realize that's Michael Dorn, Worf, right?" Like, nah, the Steel book's gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
And honestly, that was another thing too, because some people brought up actually one of the comic book polls we're talking about this week.
Yeah,
someone talked about that. I'm like, it was great. It was better than Cyborg.
Oh,
and I still got a bone to pick with that. But
we here also would like to reiterate, we like the writing in Cyborg. It was the art that did in that book.
The art was god awful terrible. The artwork in the issue did not match the title. It did not match title art.
That's it.
I still couldn't tell if that. I went back and reread it. I still can't tell if that was his mom or his new girlfriend in that book.
It looked like his mom. It's from the name that was used. I say his mom.
No, because he even says like you were the sister that he wanted. You were the daughter he wanted.
Okay, I missed that.
Okay.
In that case, that was the sister. Okay, I completely missed that. But no, but Picard was great. Lower Decks, if you have not seen it, you definitely should watch it. Strange New Worlds, again, I highly recommend it. And also Star Trek Discovery, their final season is coming up. If you have not seen any of those series, you highly should. They are definitely great. But we do have to start as far as our TV reviews. We do got to say goodbye. Why do we have to say goodbye? Because, ladies and gentlemen, as of 2 days ago, The Flash has had its run.
That pun was terrible. I take over now.
Let's be honest. Season 9 of The Flash was supposed to be an abbreviated season. It was actually really only supposed to get 9 episodes. The fact that they actually got up to 13 is amazing. The fact that they really had a lot of things that they were trying to accomplish in 13 episodes really didn't get over. And then the whole New World series, it just, to me, rushed. It was depressing. It really was. But just go around the round table about this. Not only talking about the final seasons of The Flash. Overall, and Chris, I'll start with you first. Overall, was The Flash a good, did it have a good run on CW? Did we just simply run out of steam? Or was this just a failed experiment from Jump Street?
I think it had a good run up until probably season 5, 6, maybe.
Okay.
And then it kind of started running out of steam. COVID didn't help, so that didn't help either. So it just kind of like, as a matter of fact, that's when it happened. Right when COVID was kicking off, it kind of messed up their shooting schedule.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, it petered out right after that. And I, me being the completionist, I said I'm sticking through with it. I'm sticking through with it. I'm like, I've been here from the beginning. Stick with the landing.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Grant Gustin, amazing. He's amazing.
Okay.
Great play. Great Barry. He's playing a great Barry Allen. Would have loved to see him with Batman and Friends.
Man, that is not the hope that everybody has right now.
Right. So being the DC show that ran the longest on CW is a testament in itself. But it, for them to have 13 episodes, it did feel extremely rushed. A lot of ground that they tried to cover and really couldn't. Didn't really, not well explained situations that went on in this final season. And damn it, no Cisco.
That was the thing that bothered me. I'm like, we didn't really get a lot of the cameos back, and the Keon arc made no viable sense whatsoever. But I'm sorry,
I
Joe.
thought you just kept telling people no because of NDAs.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a viable thing. I mean, they'll tell you no to your face all the time because they literally are contractually obligated not to.
Yeah.
So when someone asks us, like, so are you coming back? It's like, no, I don't have time. I'm doing something else. Like, oh, that's an NDA answer. He'll be in there.
Yeah, and that's why. And I'm sorry, Joe, not to cut you off because I wanted your opinion as well. Really, Joe. But no, I was just saying that it's missing cameos, incorrect storylines, and Joe has been calling, and I'll give Joe credit because Joe has been calling this since season 5, 6.
What, that it's gonna end with Cobalt Blue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you call it? I'm about to say, didn't you call it about a year ago or so?
Give or take.
Yeah. I had to go back and look, but I could have sworn you called it about a year ago. But even Cobalt Blue, they teased Cobalt Blue since they teased him that was supposed to be Killer Frost, which, by the way, made no sense because you basically written off Killer Frost at the end, where it's like, okay, so Keon has ascended to become the goddess of all, and Caitlyn is back, but without Killer Frost.
And none of it made sense.
Yeah.
I could not explain. My wife, I tried telling my wife, she was like, "What is?" I was like, "I thought this woman died." I'm like, "She did."
She got a comic book rebirth.
But here's the worst part, Chuck. Poor Chuck. Because I thought for a second the CW was gonna fill its black person quota died in the season. I was like, y'all took a while, but it's like, wait. Person quota has to die. Shit. And then you come to find out he's not dead, but apparently is a meta.
Still has his meta abilities.
Which,
dormant.
Right. Meta abilities that he had in the beginning of his introduction to the Flash, but since then have been dormant until Reverse Flash almost kills him.
Yeah.
Make that make sense. That's even worse with what's her face's Virtue's character, which
I was gonna say is like, since when could she fly?
Never. I'm like, they sat there and took so many liberties with it, and it's gotta be messed up that, hey, we're gonna give you your own suit, but you can only have it for 2 episodes.
So I'm a little confused. Is she empathic or telepathic?
They tried to mix both.
Okay, see, Joe, I'm with Joe on that because I was like, wait a minute, I thought she was like an empath that had some.
See, that's like those weird
some lower level.
I will tell you what it is. when she got connected to old girl, they try to make it seem like she took her powers. They try to make they try to do that little thing of like, oh, well, you're different than me. You're actually stronger and you don't even know it. They try to finesse that.
I remember them saying that. And I'm just like, okay, you're an empath, and I would assume by you being an empath that the stronger meant like you can exude that emotion of whatever you choose onto a person, not just feel it from a person. And so I figured, okay, yeah, so that you could eventually mess with somebody's head, I guess, in a sense. But then you're stopping Godspeed's dead in their tracks, and I'm like, when was
I mean, she goes basically from being from a Hellion to just Jean Grey.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And like I said, that it's just a mess of them. And then you tease the whole Eddie going full Cobalt Blue, then getting, and this is the problem, and I say this with all certainty, that somewhere along the lines of season 4 and 5, Flash decided to become Dr. Phil to every one of his rogues. It was like I see
that's a Wally trait.
Yes.
It is. I will not argue that. But the problem is, it didn't have to be with every villain. It was like, you tried to convince Zoom he wasn't evil. Really? You tried to convince a guy who is dead set on killing you that he is good. You tried to convince Godspeed, a guy who is only obsessed with being the god of speed, that there's nothing wrong with him.
Well, he actually did do that in the book, though.
Yes, but it didn't have it. But the problem with the Flash, as he got in the upper seasons, it became the norm. And then you kept on going back to the timeline. And you kept on wanting to wreck the timeline. You kept on wanting to do this and do that. And even in the final season, where Barry is basically jumping more than the quantum leap at this point.
I do love the fact that when that happened, the first thing he said, like, what did I do now?
It just, to me, it just didn't work. And I hate to say it because, again, the Flash is one of my favorite characters. Grant Gustin, it is my hope, sir, that when the Flash comes out, when Batman and Friends comes out, I'm just gonna throw it out in the universe. I hope at the end of that movie, all I want to hear is, my name is Barry Allen, and they show you. I will be happy. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be happy. But that being said, I have to also apologize for the Candice Patton who played Iris West, because she caught, and I'll be honest, I said that her character was boring, but you can't blame the actor. You can't blame the actor for the role that they're given. You cannot blame them because they didn't write the script. They're getting the opportunity of a lifetime. I can't knock her, but she caught so much hell and still catching so much hell.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people said, well, she just, I didn't like her. I didn't like her acting. I felt like she was disconnected. Somehow the show became about her. And those are things that are beyond her control. Don't get me wrong. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I think she did the best that she could with the role that she was given. But again, I cannot blame her for the show writers and the showrunners who were basically following CW. And again, CW has to answer to Warner Brothers. And we have said it on here. Chris has said it on Blurred's Eye View. We have heard it on Roomful of Blurs, on Navy Montel. We have all said the same thing when it comes to Warner Brothers. Executives do not make great show decision writers, and it shows. So that's why I wanted to say to Candice Patton, you are definitely not hated on Get Bit. We love you. We hope we hope you find more roles and more work. We apologize that the internet definitely can be a toxic place, and that some people out there just really have nothing better in life.
I mean, for me personally, generally, I love the cast.
Yeah.
It's not the cast. It's just you could tell when the writers ran into a wall, and I'm like, okay, you do know you can kind of do something different here,
right?
And you like what they introduced us to Max. They introduced us to 3 more speedsters.
Yeah,
Max Mercury being one of them. Yeah, and that's cool. And I'm like, okay, I like that. but it's
But what
it's such a
but what makes me mad? Why wasn't that done at the beginning of the show? At
So-
the beginning of the season, that would have been your arc right there.
That I can actually explain, but it has to do with some of the shows they canceled.
Okay.
So Avery and Jesse were supposed to be part of that superhero university thing.
Oh, Titans.
That Diggle was going to run, and then Max Mercury was going to be a teacher there and be like their mentor, because Max Mercury is mentor to Bart.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, like, had the Diggle show continued, that would have been Max Mercury teaching Avery and Jesse how to be speedsters.
Okay.
But since that got canceled, that got scrapped. They were still going to be introduced regardless.
Yeah, it just to me, if you know it's going to be scrapped, and again, to put that out there to where Flash is like, well, I can't be the only one with powers. Let me search for others. I'm like, that should have been the focus it should have been the focus from episode 1 of the season. Because you got your gold boots. I'm happy you got your gold boots. You should have had your gold boots from Jump Street. But at the same time, you could have made this last season meaningful. Because that's really what we were asking for. But again, we were asking the wrong people. We couldn't ask Grant Gustin and Candice Patton and Jesse Owens and everyone else that was a part of that show. We could not ask them for a better season, when really we should have been looking at Greg Berlanti and those who had the ability to make this happen and simply did not want to, even though the president of CW had already sat there and said, we're saying goodbye to superhero shows. We thank them for their seasons, when really he should be kissing up to them, because if it wasn't for the Arrowverse, outside of the Vampire Diaries and Nancy Drew, who else is watching CW?
Right. Because they wanted the Supernatural. They wanted Supernatural to still keep going, but once again, COVID pretty much was like, yeah, we're locking this down. This is,
And that was another thing. This like Supernatural ended the way it should have ended.
It ended the way it should have ended, but it didn't end the way that it should have ended. Like if they had gotten the actual non-COVID ending, perfect. That's the perfect. Like it was the same ending,
but it would have been
with everybody there. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. It comes with these shows, like I said, and I was trying to discussion I had with someone about, well, the Arrowverse was a failed experiment. Well, to some extent, yeah, because when Berlanti and company came forward, it was a 5-year plan for each show. Because most shows in syndication, if they get to the 5 years, that means you've hit episode, if not 100, over 100 by then. Mm-hmm. So for anybody that doesn't know, when a TV show hits 100 episodes or more, that's guaranteed syndication, which means that those shows will be or could be replayed in other networks, other areas, other markets. Walking Dead is a great example of that, because Walking Dead, albeit it's heavily edited, you can see it on public television. That's the reason, because of syndication. So that was the plan for CW for the superhero shows. And somewhere along the lines, they got so popular to it's like, oh crap, we don't have a plan beyond this point. So we're having to make it up as we go. You saw it with Arrow and how that ended. You saw it with Legends of Tomorrow and how that ended. You saw it with Supergirl. You saw how that ended. Kung Fu, which again it wasn't a bad show, but I don't think it got enough. It did not get enough support behind it.
Because it still reminded me of Jackie Chan Adventures.
It really was.
It really did.
And Stargirl, again, I still think, because I was late on board to get on that show, but then again, that last season was, dear God, the last season had a body count, but it was still a good season.
Yeah. Stargirl was actually really good. Like, for this short run, it was actually really good. And I'm surprised. I was like, wow, this is good. Like,
and I'm surprised
it's a certain balance you got, and it's good, but now you're dropping it.
I was kind of hoping it would get picked up. by Max now, since we can't say HBO Max, it's now Max. Because I hope the same thing for Superman and Lois, just because we're getting to that season finale. But before we do get to our review of Superman and Lois, Joe did watch American Born Chinese. That is actually on my list to watch that on Disney Plus. So, Joe, really quickly, sir, what was your impressions of it?
Super cute. It's a fun show. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. Michelle Yeoh is a treasure.
She is.
Ke Huy Quan, pretty interesting in the. He's he's a guidance counselor in the first episode. I'm sure he's gonna have an expanded role.
Yeah.
But the two main actors, those kids have good chemistry, good comedic stuff. I can't wait to watch the rest of it because this is just hilarious sometimes.
I want to chime in. I want to chime in on something dealing with Michelle Yeoh. For those who are who are just now catching on to Michelle Yeoh, you consider yourself blessed because we have always known.
Oh yeah,
since Super Cop, since Super
Cop, I've been on her since Yes, Madam.
That's the word I was looking. That's the name I was looking for. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, she's always been that chick. Like I'm like, you seen her on screen, you're like, she's about to whoop somebody's ass.
Yeah.
That's all you
But again, Michelle Yeoh, Ki Hai Kwan, they deserve their flowers and then some. Like I said, over multiple shows.
Like Kwan, man, my God.
Yeah, they deserve
Redemption
their flowers
season
and
is
then
real.
Some. Yeah,
Redemption season is real.
You ain't lying. But definitely do deserve their flowers. American Born Chinese, which again, I hope to be watching this. Depends on when Obi's gonna let me actually rest because having a newborn, fun. I love him. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love my son. I love my son. He doesn't believe in letting his old man rest. So before everybody thinks I'm being a horrible parent, I love my son. He doesn't let me rest. But
sleep.
What you say, Joe?
I said just hand him off to the green neighbor next door. He'll raise him fine.
Green. God. All right. So before we get to our couples, our last show to review, Superman and Lois. Most recent episode as it gets toward their season finale. Again, another solid episode. I mean, the fact that I forgot the actor who's playing Bruno Mannheim. I had his name on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it already.
I'll pull it up.
That man is doing a phenomenal job playing the leader of Intergang, and I cannot think of his name right now. But aside from that, again, it was a solid episode. I like the fact that it wasn't really heavy action until the end, because it was the end. It was surrounding onomatopoeia. It was surrounding cancer that both her and Lois are fighting. You see, Henry Irons and Bruno Mannheim was having a training day moment.
Yeah, Chad L. Coleman.
Thank you,
Chad L. Coleman.
Yeah, but again, phenomenal actor to play Bruno Mannheim. But I mean, the whole thing between him and John, it was like No Country for Old Men, and I'm digging it. And at the same time, a lot of people are speculating what happened at the end. The fact that John was like, look, the man threatened my family. He threatened my daughter. He's sending the same man who I thought was dead, comes back to life. Soup doesn't believe in killing. Look, bro, gotta go.
John is like, oh, you gonna make me come out of that bag.
Yeah. So it's like he sat there. I mean, the whole thing was, and I do like the fact that, you know, they want to leave it in there about Clark looking at John and saying, John said, look, man, I had no choice. You always have a choice. Now, at that point, Superman, I understand. Everybody has a choice. But at the same time, you was a little slow getting to the scene. That's all I'm saying. I'm sitting here ducking and dodging. My suit can't get to me fast enough. He's heavily powered. All I have is my hammer. At this point, he's made his choice in life. But they're trying to say this is set up for turmoil. But I'm like, well, if you really think about it, it doesn't really need that turmoil. They'll just be on odds and ends about, you know, taking a life or not taking a life, because Superman has taken a life before, even though morally he doesn't want to do it. But he has killed people in the past. Mm-hmm. And if you've been reading Dawn of DC, Superman, Clark Kent, or Jonathan Kent, where Ultraman has arrived, yeah, a little bit different. But the point I'm making out of this is, and I'm going to toss it to you guys on what you think. I thought it was solid. This season finale, and I say season finale because right now it is a cliffhanger on where Superman and Lois is going to go, because CW isn't saying that they're going to be bringing it back. It is rumored that Max is heavily interested in giving it another season, but nothing is confirmed. So, Chris, I'm gonna toss this to you, sir. As far as what do you think of the latest episode, and do you think that Max will pick it up?
Solid episode, like you said. I'm hoping Max picks it up because the fact it's just a weird balancing act they got going on right now. I hope Max does pick it up. I hope they're smart enough to say, hey, let's give this one more season at least and finish out its storyline. Don't have it a rush. And not have it so dark like and I'm kind of offshooting here, like with Titans.
Yeah.
You know, how it ended. And we just got done watching Volume 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And it was like, yeah, you got the same ending, but one had more depth. I'm just saying. But I hope that they get picked up for their 4th season and get sent to Max. If CW, because CW is going through a lot of changes, like getting bought out, wanting to change up the itinerary. And then you got the writer strike going on. The SAG writers or the SAG actors is getting ready to join them. There's a lot going on. There's just a lot going on. And so I hope it does get its 4th season and get sent to Max. I did notice, I don't know why it took me so long, but I noticed when Clark lands at the farm, he lands hard. And I'm like, dude, you got all this land. You can literally glide down. You don't have to come down like a crater.
I mean,
like meteorite.
The man kind of can make his own runway at this point.
I'm like you don't have to do that. Like we know you here. You ain't got to land that hard, but but yeah, I want to see where this is going. I love this Mannheim angle. Never thought I would like it like that. Never thought I would like it like that. You know,
the fact they humanized him. That's why I've been saying. I mean, that they humanized him to where it's like you almost don't hate him.
Yeah.
You almost do not hate him, and I'm like,
he loves his wife. He loves his son. He's a different person when it comes to business. He is a completely different person.
But you know what? I have to give it credit for because I just not thought about this. He's basically Kingpin. He's basically Kingpin in DC form.
He is.
Because if you think about
Damien Dark.
Damien
Dark. Yep, same way. Like he's about business over here, but when it comes to his daughter Nora,
he'll kill for it. That But no, I mean, I like the fact that they made it that different, and at the same time, Bizarro Superman still hanging around. But I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to take over, dude. But what did you think of it, sir? And do you think Max pick it up?
I thought they already did pick it up because didn't we cast Lex Luthor not too long ago?
They casted him, yes, but they did not confirm whether or not Max did pick it up. All we have is the casting that they have for Lex Luthor, but Max never officially said they picked up Superman and Lois.
And I don't think they can really do much. Like that ball is really this strike thing is kicking everybody's ass.
It really is, but again, as you know, the whole thing about the strike, and really before we go to the comic pools of the week, it's simply put that I did not know, and of course, me going on this journey along with Chris, because we did not know that in the world of Hollywood, writers are basically essential workers, and not in a good way. Like they get paid poorly. They don't get money from streams or DVD purchases or online purchases or rentals. They get none of that. They get flat rates. And the actual studio workers have their own union, and they actually get better pay and benefits than the writers do. So I can't blame the writers for going on strike. Again, like Chris said, the actors from SAG might also go on strike. And let's be honest, when your writers and actors go on strike,
you're not getting anything done.
Hollywood becomes a ghost town. I mean, for all those buying DVDs, buy the pallet load through Amazon, y'all smart ones, because I mean, outside of streaming services, you're going to be seeing you're going to be watching a lot of repeat shows, and it's going
to be repeats, reality shows, and game shows.
Yeah,
that's it.
And all Hollywood simply has to do, pay people. Like how most strikes go. Most strikes always are the same. You're going to wind up paying more, so why don't you just skip to the end?
And here's the other thing that they're missing out on. Before SAG started getting involved, if your script was done,
Yeah.
You could still film.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do rewrites. So, you could be a producer that had some writing credits, but you could just still go ahead and produce. You just couldn't do any rewrites or anything. You could still film, but then come to find out, nope, can't even do that. And so you can't even do that. So, like, if you're a producer that has writing credits, you can't do that either. You can't work on the show. Yeah. So now, with that being involved, that's shot. Mm-hmm. Now your actors are talking and saying, "Yep, looks like we getting ready to join them." But now you're not shooting no movies. You're not shooting any television. If it's not in the can already, you're not getting it.
But that's and thank you for saying that, because Joe just reminded me of something else. So Deadpool 3 has already started filming despite the strike. Despite the writer strike that's going on, Deadpool 3 is still rolling on filming. I'm still looking forward to it. I just thought it was surprising that Disney is still moving forward with this third incantation.
It might be principal photography. That's why.
It might be that too, because I was thinking to myself, dang, they are really moving forward with this despite the strike going on. But I digress. But Joe, that's really all we have, sir. Do we have any other news before we go to our comic pool, sir?
Trying to think, I can't quite remember. It's been a long day.
Joe's had a long day, and he just came back from ICC, so I envy him a little bit. But yeah, but if we have it all, sir, let me go ahead and pull up, because I do see you got your comic pool. I do see you got your comics up and ready to go, sir. So whenever you're ready.
Yep. So Action Comics number 1055, we get to learn that behind the entire Metallo attack is, of course, Cyborg Superman, because this man cannot and will not die no matter how much he wants to die. In fact, the backup page even tells us, hey, here's the whole history of Cyborg Superman. They refuse to let him die, no matter what.
Pretty much.
This was written by Phil Kennedy Johnson with art by Rafael Sindova, colors by Matt Herms. We learned that Metallo is actually not that bad of a dude in the grand scheme of things. We learned his origin story on what brought him to where he is now. We learned the only reason he's agreeing to this is because we know that Cyborg Superman has a sister. However, the Kent family, or the Superman family, is still dealing with zombified Metallo people.
Yeah.
Where anybody could potentially be a Metallo person and you're already dead. You just don't know it.
Pretty much.
You're basically a sleeper agent. Backup story still has to deal with stuff that happened in the Death of Superman anniversary thing, where like the new Doomsday, that's actually just some poor dude who got the Doomsday virus.
Yeah.
And Mutate is still working with them. And then the Steel issue, which is written by not Michael Dorn in this one, but was still very entertaining. It's a good way to kick off the Steel series.
At the same time, folks had an issue with it. I was like,
I think they didn't have an issue with the Steel stuff. They had an issue with the
dialogue.
Natasha and Connor part?
The dialogue.
And I seen this one, and I was thinking about picking it up, because I said, well, let me kind of start peppering more DC into my pool list instead of just Batman. And I was like, I picked it up, and then I thought about it, and I said, I'll go get this Titans #1 and start there. So
actually, that Titans is the principal driving force of Dawn of DC. So
yeah, but it's also good too. Titans,
that art.
We reviewed Titans 1 last week. It was actually pretty good.
And the newest issue, Nightwing, is going to be better because it's a pure POV from Dick Grayson perspective.
I just need one Jason Todd reference. One.
Probably. But no, this was a good book. Everybody is written out. It's interesting to see Metallo be like a pseudo good guy, and even Clark's like, no, he's in this because his family's involved. Like we have our past, but he wouldn't be coming to us for help if he truly was really behind everything.
Right.
And then of course, like Hank Henshaw just like pops up because of course it's Hank Henshaw. If you need a quick villain for your Tuesday fight, you just call Hank Henshaw.
I like how you said for your Tuesday fight. Yes.
I mean, they even have to go so far as to get like the Eradicator program, because like, oh, you can detect Kryptonian anomalies with my super thing, and then of course the first thing the Eradicator is like, Oh, I see you have a half-breed offspring. I can get rid of him for you if you need to continue the purity of the Kryptonian line. It's like, Garg's like, I will shut you off. Here's what I need.
That part was like, I sense 2 impurities. Would you like me to get rid of them? I'm like, what are you, the evil Mr. Clean concerly area? Like,
he's called Eradicator for a reason.
It's like it's like not everything is a kill mission, sir. I just need information. That's it. Are you sure? Yes.
Good book. I'm still enjoying this. Superman is always fun when he has a family involved.
Yeah.
Moving on over, we got Green Arrow number 2. This is written by Josh Williamson with art and cover art by Sean Izaakse. I guess that's how we pronounce that. And interior and cover colors by Romulo Ferrando Jr. So Ollie is still trapped in this weird, bizarro world where alien animal people are just running the society. He's trapped there with his, we'll go with niece.
Yeah, niece.
Roy's daughter, Leanne. I like the small moment where it's like, yeah, I mean, we got to find Connor. And he's like, who's Connor? You know, your son. And then Ollie has like, oh my God, I have a son. That's right.
The flashback was killing me.
Don't chalk that up to Ollie not remembering doesn't have Connor. I take that as in his mind is not properly aligned with the way the universe is working now.
That is
because prior to Dawn of DC, Connor didn't exist.
Right.
He was like one of the ones that got like sent away to who knows where because Barry Allen missed his mom so much. Like it's still Barry Allen's fault.
It's always Barry.
Barry Allen's fault.
Yeah. So the fact that he gets to remember all the memories of his son just made me real happy. The fact that he finally remembers Connor makes me even happier.
Yeah.
I dig the artwork. I dig that we bring back the boxing glove Arrow. I dig that no matter where he is, Ollie can still make a bowl of chili.
Although the disappointment. The disappointment afterwards.
Talks to that bowl of chili. It's like, it's not here. It's the chili. It's shameful.
I'm going to say that the next time my wife makes chili. The chili is shameful. What?
You brave soul. You brave soul.
I'm digging this. I hope this goes beyond what it is. I think it's only supposed to be an 8-ish miniseries, but if pre-orders and the book gets enough fanfare, hopefully it will continue.
Well,
I believe She-Hulk is continuing purely on word of breath alone. So,
well, what happened at the end of this issue? That just makes the twist is better. What happens? I mean, the fact that we see Peacemaker at the end, and you see what's her face?
Well, Dinah and Arsenal are just like hell bent on getting their 2 loved ones back because Roy just now learned Leanne is alive and much older.
Yeah. But the fact that Peacemaker is still working for Waller and he's like, we're gonna have a problem, like, this lets you know that James Gunn, I'm not saying he has influence in the comics, but you can tell
he has influence on the comics.
Because if I'm right, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't this like the 3rd occurrence of Peacemaker we saw in like the last?
Oh, he's supposed to be the new big boogeyman in the thing because Waller's put a hit out on all superheroes because she is officially tired of the universe getting rebooted and everybody acting like it's no big deal.
Yeah,
as she put it, their smile. I'm tired of seeing them with smiles on their faces.
Yeah,
she's ready to call it out. Now that she has the helmet of hate.
Right.
New big pull for me. This is the premiere of City Boy. This is written by Greg Pak and art by Min Kyu Jung with colors by Sunny Cho. And this tells the story of Korean American Cameron Kim, who has the amazing talent that Windblade does in Transformers. He is a city speaker, meaning he can communicate directly with any city he's in, and the city can tell him things or lead him to things.
He's got an urban symbiosis.
Yeah.
urban empathy or empathy.
Well,
Kind of like a technopath. He's an urbapath.
The Authority. Okay. The Authority. I can't think his name. He's in The Authority. Had that same kind of.
Shoot. I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
So this whole story, we learned that he is currently in Gotham at the moment, trying to get a hang of his life, abandoned by his mom to his grandmother in Metropolis, makes a living by finding objects and pawning them off, and meets a pretty cool dude, and unfortunately also runs into Gotham's one of Gotham's triad leaders, who unfortunately, like, things just don't go well for that old man. But we also get a flashback on how he got these city-speaking things and learn that Bruno Mannheim and Intergang are in on this too.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this. This seems fun because not only can he speak to the city, he can manipulate the city itself.
And yet his power, I'm like, the man's power was also amplified too. But I had to look this one up because I've never heard this character. And
he is brand new.
Okay, he is brand new. Okay, because I was gonna say, because I looked at him like I've never heard of City Boy.
It's City Boy, Spirit World, and the Vigil are the three new big API heroes that are moving forward. I believe they're all going to be miniseries, but still, I really dug this. I will say I did dig Spirit World more.
Oh,
because that was a much more fun thing because they expanded the the Netherworld and more mysticism. So this just is like more like this is going to be fun. I just think the other one's going to be more fun.
I'll take a look at Spirit World, but no, I like City Boy. It was interesting because of the way they did his backstory, but at the same time, that one guy had it coming. He was being too damn nosy. But go ahead, Joe.
Oh yeah. Moving over to Marvel, we got Bishop War College #4. This is written by Jay Holtham and pencils by Sean Damian Hill for Earth 63, inks by Victor Nava in Earth 63, Alberto Focci for Krakoa artist, and coloring all around is by Espen Grundengern.
Bless you.
Yeah. I dug this with the exception of some of the X-Men designs. That Wolverine design was something wild.
That was I have never seen so much freedom expression.
So I took that as Wolverine being a Canadian native more than him being black.
Did his hair have to be that?
Okay, I can't help you on that one.
That's where I was stuck at. That's where my pet peeve was. But go ahead.
Beast's hair was equally weird, but then I realized that they all just came jumping in at a thing because Beast's hair went back to the normal dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Last issue, but that Wolverine.
It looked rough.
So Bishop is still in the universe where all the major superheroes are black, with no exceptions. Even Storm is black, which we have undeniable proof that Storm being black is a universal constant in the multiverse,
as it should be.
Yep, no argument there. Chris, we were talking about how terrifying a black Wolverine actually looks.
Bishop War College is good.
Yes, no, Bishop War College is very good. That Wolverine, I took him to be a Canadian native, but that still doesn't excuse that hairstyle.
That hairstyle, though, just.
Long and short of this one, in the Bishop thing, the human extremists that are trying to fight for human survival attack a thing, and unfortunately Tempo's father gets caught up into it. Meanwhile, Bishop forces, we'll call him Lucas for the sake of simplicity, forces Lucas to finally actually use his powers for a change, and Lucas is immediately remorseful for it. Meanwhile, Bishop's college kids are finally getting the one over on the Stucker twins. Thank God, because no one needs those kids. No one needs Nazi German twins with superpowers running around on Krakoa or anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Just
thankfully,
will
the
not leave the
two.
mutants alone. I hate that.
Thankfully, two of my favorite Japanese X-Men people, Armor and Surge, managed to take pretty decent care of them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Books still continue to be very solid. I want more of this. I want to see what other characters like. I want to see what the Avengers look like. I want to see what Fantastic Four would look like and whatnot. I want to see like how Earth 63 expands and grows through world building.
Not gonna lie, their versions of the X-Men looked really solid. Like,
sometimes
really
yes,
solid.
sometimes no. Their Emma Frost and their Sebastian Shaw leave to be.
Oh yeah,
Sebastian Shaw was questionable as all get out.
I will say Cyclops and Beast absolutely surprised their look. I'm like,
I think the Jean looks really good.
yeah.
Beast was like
The Iceman is their Iceman is
It's
like
Iceman.
it's
Yeah.
fine. Their Angel looks fine too. Like I said, it's just some of the new X-Men
Yeah.
look a little bit more questionable. The only part that was like hilarious from last one is like Sebastian Shaw telling Emma Frost, like, in his world, you're white.
that line. That line was
Girl,
shocking.
you were white.
Yeah, just the look on her face was priceless. Like
The
really?
audacity.
Oh,
I do not want to be there.
Still, really good book. Loving everything about it. Hopefully, this ends up much better. I just want more of Earth 63 because it just seems like an interesting world. Not only is a world where possibly the majority of the hero community is black, it's a world where the majority of the community as a whole are mutants.
which it still might be an experimental issue considering the fact of how it, depending on sales.
Yeah.
Depending on sales, that might be a route they may go.
Well, I mean, on top of that, they even say that this is an extra credit issue, which means this is like it's in canon, but it is not like the main plot of Krakoa is not adhering to anything super huge about it.
Right. Fair point.
Next up, we got Chris's book, Fury #1. This is written by Al Ewing with art by Scott Eaton and Cam Smith, Tom Riley, Adam Kubert, Raymond Romanos, and Jordi Belair is colorists. The long and short of this one is a secret agent of unknown origin known as Scorpion is out to steal the Zodiac Key, and both Nick Furies must get in on this to see just what is the Zodiac Key and how it affects everything, because the Zodiac Key has always been pivotal in all of Nick Fury's life, both Furies, Junior and Senior.
So
It's also the first time we've seen White Nick Fury in years.
Yeah. Well, technically,
he's been in Fantastic Four.
He will be
Fantastic Four. Yeah, he has.
He will be the Unseen, so that would make sense.
Yeah, he's been working with. He's been living and working with Uatu. So
yeah. Fantastic book. Great homage to the commemorating 60 years of Nick Fury. This book definitely does do that.
It's a clean look. I'm gonna have to mock it. I was like, I can rock that. I can rock that.
It's just been a while since we've seen Nick Fury like this. Or just a book focusing on Fury. I'm also wondering if the reason that they're doing this is because they preemptively put out Secret Wars or Secret Invasion because Secret Invasion got delayed, so they need another Nick Fury book.
Yep.
Honest to God, though, I thought that Scorpio was actually the secret agent, Peter Parker's sister Tessa Parker, for like a hot second.
What was?
Wasn't she? Wait.
I'm trying to think of her code name. They mentioned because it was her. It was her and Mockingbird.
Well, they
were
even
working
throw
together.
in
right.
Well, they threw in during the Chameleon conspiracy that she may not even be a real person. She could be a life model decoy.
Yeah.
Or possibly a clone or something. So because they need to get Tessa off the table at that point, because Spencer's run was coming to an end.
Yeah.
So they didn't use her anymore.
And they're just tearing up Peter's life anyway right now.
Man.
I have dropped that book, much like many people should do.
So I thought Ben Reilly had it bad. Jesus Christ.
This is why I sit there and say this person, I think I'm starting to believe this person was just wanting to just throw Peter into everything because it's not Ben anymore. Since it's not Ben anymore, Peter just has to be the brunt of rage out of this. But real quick,
the hilarious thing about all this, though, is that the Hallows Eve book is actually really good.
Yeah. But real quick, wasn't Peter Parker's sister was codenamed Penguin or something like that? Penguin or something? Something like that.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I remember him. They're calling her name. They were on a mission. Mockingbird was there,
right?
And I'm trying to think what she was called. I can't think what she was called.
Because I was trying to think about it because they gave her nicknames. I was like, I could have sworn one nickname. I don't know why Penguin sticks out in my head. Like either Mrs. Penguin or something of that nature. I could have sworn it was something like that.
No, it's nickname Good Punisher and Miss Penguin.
Yeah. But I don't think it was ever mentioned. I don't think it was ever mentioned in the comics, but I could be wrong. It's just the fact that Penguin keeps sticking out in my head when I thought about Peter Parker's sister. That's all I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, Good Punisher. Yep, Good Punisher. Yep.
That did sound vaguely familiar, but no. The Nick Fury issue was really good. I was tripping on the fact that the Watcher was like, well, someone has to take my place, and you can have my technology, you can have my base, but you know my rule of interference. But he goes, well, didn't you just break your rule in order to actually bring me here? You kind of broke that rule, didn't you? Well, sometimes to interfere is to not interfere is to interfere. But do you want the job or not? It's like, okay, Watcher kind of got a little when someone
the stuff they dealt with Uatu and him and then his whole race and finding out why they don't interfere, and it was like I'm like, oh, it's so much more darker than it should have been, and it was like, oh, because you guys messed up. Is why you don't win.
It's like trying to make it great. I was like, well, if you go back to the What If episode, you did kind of interfere, sir, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
If you didn't, we would not be here. So
like, don't let me hold you. Don't let me hold you.
So all in all, on this Fury book, I enjoyed it. I don't know if this is a one shot or this is going to be a thing moving forward because of Secret Invasion. I hope they move forward with it because it will be interesting to see a father-son dynamic book move forward between these two. Also, Fury deploying the Fury Life Model Decoy Squad.
That was funny. He's like, you don't think I have a plan for this? It was like watching Shadow Clone Jutsu. It's just Fury Squad, go. I was like, oh dang, there's 6 of them. It's like I prepped for this. Which again,
there's 6 of them, but unfortunately, they were all Sound Village ninjas with no names. Meaning Scorpio dropped them all pretty quickly.
Pretty much, but no, it was good. It was a good issue. I think it will go on just because of Secret Invasion is about to make its run. So I think it would make sense to actually do a limited series right along with the show.
Yep. Next up, we got Storm, written by Ann Nesenti. Art by Sid Kadian, colors by Andrew Dollhouse. This was a nice way to make people remember the 90s had some fun X-Men books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. A lot of them. A lot of X-Men books.
90s Storm, this is just a big character study of Storm and all of her facets of her being a leader, her dealing with her what's it called, where they're scared of close places, claustrophobia, even in something as wide as the ocean she can still become claustrophobic, her dealing with the pressures of leadership, her dealing with younger students, dealing with Kitty, dealing with new heroes that were formerly villains in the case of Rogue. Just all around a decent, fun read, and just like, you know,
I
Well, just
actually
remember-
enjoy.
Huh?
I actually enjoy how her character is being written as of lately, which tells I'm like, you guys must be getting ready to do something with this character
Mm-hmm.
because the way she's writing in X-Men and X-Men Red and the way they're writing her here, I'm like,
Well, Fall of X is coming up.
yeah, I'm like, you're up to something because she is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And that's
Fall-
probably the best I could put it right now.
See, that's the thing I'm thinking with Fall of X coming around the corner, and that the fact they're trying to, giving her a limited run here, it kind of does shit point because Summer of Sinister was, well, interesting, albeit the ending could have used a little bit more work, but
Little polish,
that's
little
my
polish.
opinion.
Little polish.
Oh no, I like that Emma put her on blast. It's like, yeah, you were the only one that didn't get affected because you didn't come down because you think you're better than us and you think that we don't deserve your time because you got raised as a
Well.
goddess.
Mm-hmm.
She like that's and I know she had a Queen Aurora has a point. One, she's a goddess.
I mean, she is the voice of Soul. She is the voice of Soul. So it's like, yeah, she kind of
Emma-
claimed that.
Emma, you walk around like you better than everybody else. So you're
Well,
just
that was also one of the only times that Storm didn't have her rebuttal because at the same time she knew Emma was right about that. It's like because I didn't check on those I loved, they became corrupted.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, this issue was interesting. The fact
Yes.
I just couldn't stand Kitty Pryde's character. I said, if you were
Yeah.
not the nosy, whiny, hormonal,
Oh, she was
teenager-
always like that because she was like the new X kid. So like she
And
was
Rogue-
annoying to the point where even New Mutants were like, "Kitty, just stay behind."
and
Do
Rogue
things
ain't,
with Doug.
Rogue ain't shit. I'll be honest
Yeah.
about Rogue. Rogue ain't shit. Rose that said, "You want to go get tattoos, get lit up?" Yeah, sure. Then she comes back. Professor X is like, "Yep, let me talk to you." Oh, is it time for my spanking? I was like, "If this is not Rogue to a T, just." But it was a good issue. I did dig it though.
Yep. And then Supermassive is our final book of the night. This is written by Kyle Higgins, Ryan Perot, Melissa Flores, and Matt Groom. Illustrated by Danielle D. Niculo and colors by Walter Baiamonte. So this is Supermassive issue 2. I think every year we're going to get a Supermassive kind of like,
Yeah.
every year we are going to be getting a Hellfire
About-
Gala. This kind of like puts all the Supermassive or the Tokuverse or the Massiveverse of Image, which is basically just we're just going to make our own Power Rangers universe and go from here.
Pretty much.
We have this year, we have Radiant Black, Dead Lucky, and I can never remember his name for whatever reason. Rogue Sun teaming up to find the Holy Grail. Yes, that Holy Grail.
That was still funny.
Along with two very hidden and one very surprising cameo at the very end. And it's the basic trials of getting the Holy Grail, face your fears, fight a monster, see who does what, be possessed, and see if you can survive it. I'd say BB was probably the biggest standout, Dead Lucky.
Yeah.
In this issue.
She saved
Because-
everybody like multiple freaking times.
Oh yeah, she's like the newest kid on the block. I mean, it's not like we're going to see no one pop out in this thing. This is a bit beyond his scope.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we may learn in the next issue. Now he has this like whole thing wired with cameras, and we never knew about it.
He is a watcher, so we're not surprised by that. But no, it really was a good issue. I wasn't really expecting a Holy Grail. I was actually expecting a Monty Python reference somewhere in the middle of the comic. I was like, this screams. Like, if you're gonna look for something called the Holy Grail, you have got to put in the wing speed of an unladen swallow somewhere in it. Somewhere it deserves that line. But no, it was good. I like the fact that they still kind of held the whole thing with Rogue Sun, not realizing that that Dylan is not really in control, and the whole time it's like, okay, we're all powered down except him.
Well, the thing is they don't know who Dylan is. Like he tells them right up first, like, no, I'm his son.
Yeah.
That's why I sound younger, but they've never seen Dylan. So even if he depowered, they wouldn't know anything's up.
That's true. But no, it was a good episode. It was a good issue. I like the fact how they kind of took Inferno Red and tried to explain that whole story. I said, that's how she got there.
And then Spawn shows up at the very end.
Spawn shows up everywhere. Fourth wall break.
And not just any Spawn, it's Night Spawn.
Fourth wall break. He'll show when he's everywhere.
It's one of those things where you forget, it's like, oh, wait, no, this is in the Image universe. That can naturally happen.
I was like, as long as McFarlane controls Spawn can go wherever he wants.
And we'll never get that movie.
No.
I guarantee you next year we will end up having No One as being part of this.
I would dig it.
Chris, you've been reading No One?
You said me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Oh, dude, you need to. That is that book is right up your alley.
Like I'm just now seeing what was it, issue 5 of Nemesis. I just picked up. I'm like, yo, they brought Nemesis back.
Nah, you need to go read No One. I think we're only on issue 4. It's kind of a true crime thing.
It does have a podcast along with it.
But Batman is more of a watching thing. And this is more focusing on the GCPD and the Gotham News is the better way of looking at it.
Yeah.
You just won me over because that reminds me of when Brubaker was doing the GCPD run.
Yeah. The other thing is every issue is followed up with a podcast episode that's about 30 minutes long with Rachel Lee Cook and Patton Oswalt.
Okay, I'm sold.
You got
as you said, Patton Oswalt. I'm like, yeah, he knows his shit. I'm in.
You gotta. It is definitely worth it because I definitely enjoy it. Joe kind of got me hooked on No One too. But yeah, with the Supermassive Tailverse, if you haven't already, Inferno Girl Red, the Dead Lucky, crap, what's the black superhero's name? I forgot it already. Rose Sun, and I'm missing one.
Radiant Black.
Thank you, and Radiant Black. If you ever get a chance, Chris, those 4 issues, just read one of each. You'll be hooked.
Yep.
It don't take much. One.
On top of that, Radiant Black is moving into its next sort of actor. So this is kind of like a mid-season finale every season, and then they do their next jump.
Yeah.
So the next big thing for Radiant Black is who's going to actually get to keep the Radiant powers, because right now the Radiant powers are being shared between the original user and the current user, because the original user got put into the hospital. So his best friend decided to make the sacrifice. We'll all be Radiant Black so he can live. But now the powers are only half working because they're being split among them. So the big thing is who gets it, Nathan or Marshall.
That's true.
Okay, I'm gonna check this out.
Dead Lucky is her power is she is a Chinese.
Well, she can conjure. Well, her unit, because she was a former soldier, so her ability is she can conjure the power of the people that she used to work with, and it's almost like she has her own little mini squad.
Through Electro Ghosts.
Through Electro Ghosts is the best way I can put it. And also she has a mech.
Yep.
So that's also very, like I said, you're not going to be
disappointed. Girl is just what happens when Sailor Moon meets Power Rangers.
Pretty much.
No. Like Powerpuff Girls meet Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And that's even better.
You will not be disappointed at all. But all right, but thank you, Joe, for the comic pulls of the week, sir. And as always, we do want to give a shout out to Rick's Comic City. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out because they show us love, but we want to give love back to them. They have 2 locations, one in Nashville and one in Clarksville, Tennessee. They also have a new spot called Locker Nerd. That's also in Clarksville, Tennessee. Definitely check that out as well. As you can see, that's their website, rickscomiccity.com, where you can actually buy and trade online as well as in the stores. So definitely check them out. Again, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, you definitely do. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, support your local comic book stores, wherever they may be. Support your local libraries. They are the only areas left to where you can find anime, comics, manga, multimedia, to where you can own it or rent it or buy it, however you want to get to it. But above all else, support them. They are the last areas that you can find these things, and they cannot survive without your support. So definitely, if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, check out Rick's Comic Book City, Nashville's #1 place for go to comic book stores. And also, if you're not, support your local library, support your local comic book stores. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. As we wrap this up, guys, I would be remiss not to sit there and say, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, that Joe can tell you about a little convention that's going on right now. The ICC. Joe, you were already there for setup. So what can people expect there for Saturday and Sunday?
Tomorrow, Sharon Utter Madness, because Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio will be there.
Yeah. And
it is rumored that Vincent D'Onofrio will be in Kingpin attire.
That's the part. That's the part where I wish I could go, because number one, well, first and foremost, for all those that don't know, you do have to buy for photos and packages. You do need to buy on the site, or I'm not sure. Well, Joe, are they going to be able to buy on site, or they have to buy it through the website, or do you know?
I think they got to buy it through the website.
Okay. So they will. So if you are in the Nashville, Tennessee area, like again, ICC Nashville is going on. I think it's at the Music City Center, Joe, or is it somewhere else? Or is it Lebanon?
No, this is in the Lebanon Agriculture Center.
Thank you. So it's in Lebanon Agriculture Center. Like Joe said, Vincent DeFornoyo is going to be there. And of course, Charlie Cox is going to be there. So tomorrow is going to be nuts. Now, there are, of course, many other vendors there, many other guests. You can actually go on to ICC Collector's website and be able to see all who's going to be there. I wish I could be there just because I would like to get a photograph. But then again, if you are able to, if you are national
lineup.
Yeah, they got a hell of a lineup. And this is just, like I said, from artists, celebrities. It is definitely going to be a fun time there. I am jealous of you all. But if you are in the Nashville area, definitely check them out. Like I said before, with tomorrow, as Joe said, it is going to be a little bit on the crazy side, just because two named celebrities are going to be there. So if you are going, please go early. Please make sure you're hydrated. And for the love of God, bathe, shower, throw water on yourself with soap vigorously, deodorant. Please have on clean attire, because just because nobody wants, because for all those that's never been around cons, and for all of us in this podcast right here, and probably those who are listening, we have been to cons where there is that much space. If you can't see how close I have my fingers together, there is that much space between you and your left and your rights. And that's from just walking. That's from walking vendor aisles. That's for staying in line to meet celebrities. That's just getting food. The simple fact of the matter is, you are that freaking close.
It's called hygiene, people. Use it
hygiene. Thank you. Hygiene is cleanliness is next to godliness. Mm-hmm. And again, for a lot of us who have nose like bloodhounds, I do not want to go past you while you smell like sauerkrauts and regrets. That's all I'm asking.
I'm just saying, I preferred your after air to at least smell like Irish Spring. Right. I don't want your after or before air to hit me. If your before air hit me, that's a problem. Your after air should be fresh.
I'm just saying, in this world of inflation, a bar of Dove soap is still $1.83. A bar of Dove soap is $1.83. A wash rag from your local Dollar General or whatever budget stores in your area is less than $3. For the price of a 4 for $4 at Wendy's, you can make sure you're clean before you walk into a con. That is all I freaking ask. And aside from that, enjoy yourself. Also, respect the cosplayers. Joe is a cosplayer. Chris is a cosplayer. Respect the cosplayers. Ask politely if they can take a picture, if they would mind taking a picture. 9 times out of 10, they'll happily take one with you. But be polite, be respectful. Don't be a dick. Don't be a perv. Don't just
touch them. Don't
touch
them. Don't say any weird stuff to them.
Right. Just be and I don't mean to cuss just because we're getting late night. Be a fucking human being. That's it. You know, I treat it like this. Treat them the same way you want your family members treated about you. So, again, I get it, because I've had to check a few guys at cons where they see certain certain women in attire and think that, hey, I can say anything I want to them. That's why most people like to use me as a deterrent. And I am all too happy to play security. Just please keep that in mind if you see me. I'm in the words of the late Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, be nice until it's time not to be nice. And I have no problem with that. But again, the cons are fun. Please, if you know someone that's never been, if you know someone that's never been to a con or would like to go, let them know. Or if it's in the area, like I know for us here in Nashville, it's ICC. I know for Chris, he's got a con that's going to be near him that's going to be starting very soon. MobileCon, which an equal friend of ours, Crazy 8 the Great, who is probably performing right now, for all I know, is at the con, along with Candy B. Also, another person who is delightfully good at parties and things, with carefully themed parties that she does very well. The point I'm making is, if you know someone that would actually have a wonderful time at these cons, bring them along, open their eyes up to something different. But above all else, respect the cosplayers, respect the vendors, respect the space, and simply put, don't be a dick. That's pretty much, I need to get off my soapbox about that because I can't tell you how many times I have seen smelly, pervy dudes that I just feel like I want to bounce out of that. I bounce out of every con I see, but I have to be responsible. But
you see what he said there? Soapbox.
Yeah.
That means it's universal. Soap is universal.
I ain't gonna lie. There are times I just want to go around with soapy water, and every time I just see it, just spray them like a cat. Just so they get the hit. It's like, yes, I want you to be self-conscious about yourself. I am spraying you with soap water. It's not holy water. But anyway, that being said, before I go into a tangent, we're definitely gonna wrap this up. Chris, sir, I will start with you because, as always, you are just as you welcome me to Blurred's Eye View, sir. Of course, the door is always open on this side as well. With that being said, sir, do you want people to know where you found and things that you're up to, sir?
All right, everybody. Thank you. It's your man on the wall, the kid up north, the king of the north, the Papa Bear of the Blurred World is Chris Fury of Blurred's Eye View. You can catch us live every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also catch us Thursdays at 9 p.m. on those same channels. If you look right there underneath my name, you see at Blurred's Eye View. And if you're listening, just check it out on IG. You'll find the link tree in the bio. It'll send you to all the great places where you can listen to us, including Opulence Radio. You can also catch us on Always Press Record. So we're on television. So through Roku and Amazon Fire. So shout out to Trey Lawson over at Always Press Record, Amaron Burnett over at Opulence Radio. They treat us very, very nice. So you will see us Tuesday because we took Thursday off. We took this last Thursday off. You'll see us Tuesday. We'll be talking about trilogies that just should not be. Just saying. It's working title, but we know some trilogies and then some that they just should have stopped. We'll be talking about that, and you never know. If you've seen us before, you know how we work, and if you haven't, you're missing out. So you need to come check it out, have some fun, maybe get a free movie off of us, and have some fun. See a funny commercial, have some great conversation. Get away from all the BS in the world. So as I do with my show, I say, remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others.
All right. Although it's interesting because if you did not see the last Blurred's Eye View, the last 20 almost 30 minutes. Let's just say one of our esteemed group of the High Council was having technical difficulties, and Optimus Prime showed up.
Yeah, or a scroll. The verdict is still out right now.
Yeah,
so,
Chris, I already have a title for that episode about trilogies that don't need to be.
What's that?
3 of these. I didn't even want one of these.
I might have to use that.
Good God. Joe, do you want to know, folks, what you'll be up to, sir, aside from ICC as well?
Sleep.
I know that. You have been...
No, I got the new Star Trek game, Star Trek Resurgence. I'll probably stream that when I get home from a 9-hour workday at the hospital. Thankfully, my vacation starts next week. Then the birthday weekend begins.
Cool. Where we going?
I mean, we're doing Nashville Comic Con, then we're probably going to hit Game Terminal.
I can do Nashville Comic Con. I don't know if I'll be able to talk the wife into taking the boy to Game Terminal. I mean, he can touch the sticks.
I mean, that's like the most like only thing I've heard, but I don't know what anyone's doing for me on my 40th birthday, so God only knows.
I mean, Obi will play with the sticks, but I'm afraid he'll try to eat them. he'll play with the arcade sticks, and I gotta hurry from yank him back.
All he's got to do is press on the button and wiggle the sticks.
Teach them while they're young. But what else you got going?
Other than that, probably not much. I mean, you can find us on Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So you can find us on all those places because we're slowly getting out in the world.
Also, Opulence Radio as well, because we are joining a Blurred's Eye View, Room Full of Blurs, and others. And also, Always Record TV. We're just having to work out how that's going to go. So we'll be on television, just like Blurred's Eye View and others. We'll be able to be seen on wherever there's Roku or there's apps on Always Record TV. We just have to work out that little detail. But like Joe said, we're getting out there. But go ahead, Joe.
Finally, I'll be able to get a SAG card.
Aside from that, you can catch Joe on his Twitch channel at Joe Italian Last Name, of course, Soul Justice Gaming on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. As for me, guys, as you can see, yes, the name is Black Spartan. There is a helmet. Again, it is way too hot in this room to me to put on the helmet, but I cannot wait because it is. You'll see why I give the name Black Spartan. But anyway, Blackbox447 is where you can usually find me on all socials. I usually do reviews on everything that I write, that I read, that I play, that I watch, gym stuff, because I am a big fan of the gym, although I'm trying to get back to the shape I once was in, but I'm going to get there. Also, guys, the link that you see at the bottom, if you see it trailing, let me see if I can make that just a wee bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, it'll take you to our link tree. There's YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. How the Fact We Got Here, Get Bit, and of course, Get Bit. Definitely check them out. Like, share, and subscribe heavily. And also, everything that we talked about tonight, guys, we want to know your opinions on it. We want to know what you guys thought about everything. We want to keep the conversation going. Just keep it simple, keep it clean, don't be mean, because we all have differences on fandom. It's the fact that we respect it is what makes the conversation going. Also, to point this out, with Blurred's Eye View, they also have a website, blurred'seyeview.org. Thank you for watching me this far. I'm actually one of the many heads of writers on there. I actually do the writing column for wrestling. Why? Because wrestling is real and people are fake. Shout out to Mr. Kennedy for that one. Also, I will be covering Night of Champions when it becomes live, 11 o'clock my time, because they are in Rio, Saudi Arabia. And we'll see what happens with Cody Rhodes from there. Beyond that, guys, like I said before, with this season that we're all in should be a season of really supporting each other, moving each other forward, celebrating the wins and the victories. And again, if it doesn't happen to you, still tell somebody. Give them the appreciation, because you know why? For a lot of us out there, we don't get the I'm proud of you, but it hits different when we hear from other people. We need to be more about that. And again, share. Support your friends the same way you would support Beyonce when she thought about divorcing Jay-Z. That's the type of support you should be giving your friends personally. And at the same time, guys, as I said before, I am a pretty sociable person. I like to talk to almost everybody. I just have one rule. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. That being said, guys, we will definitely be back here, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, of course, to me and Joe. Of course, Chris, if you're available, you are always welcome to join, sir. I'm going to try to see if I can get Kira and Lainey to come on here, because that's going to be interesting.
Oh, you're going to be in for a party.
That's going to be interesting if I can
get the entire crew in here.
I'm going to ask. I'm going to leave the door open to them and see if they come on, because I just want to see what happens. I believe in bringing people together, so it's going to be fun either way.
I mean, you'll have the captain, the mechanic, the gun runner, and the horror storyteller all in one room. Come on.
Does that mean I'm the mascot cat on the ship?
You would be the only one missing.
Oh God!
I love you, Joe.
Leave it to Joe to always close out the show. That being said, guys, that's gonna do it for us. He's been Chris, he's been Joe, I've been Will. This is the Give It Podcast for tonight, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will all get through this. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Please be safe. And again, support, love each other. Get through it. Don't be a dick. Peace.
I wonder